women notice? Your face. That's why you got to take care of it. Simple things like getting a haircut, grooming your face, and brushing your teeth is important. But there's one thing guys miss and that women always notice. It's when a guy isn't taking care of his skin. That's why I'm so excited to have T. Shanley as a sponsor of today's video. T. Shanley simplifies the process of taking care of your skin. They provide you with all the products you need and nothing you don't. Seriously, I don't think some of you believe me when I tell you how much implementing a quality skincare routine will improve your confidence in all aspects of your life. I recommend you start with the level 1 system, which comes with all the basics: daily face wash, exfoliating scrub, an AM moisturizer with an SPF 20 and a PM moisturizer. But and to make it dead simple for you guys, they provide an instruction card in every box that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. But because T just sponsoring this video, they're offering you an amazing deal. Just click the first link in the description and get 40% off your first skincare system and free gift. Plus, as a member, you'll get 20% off for life. By the way, one of their new gift options is a silicone body scrubber, which is a $20 value and a complete game changer. Once you use this, you'll never go back to a regular loofah ever again. So don't wait any longer. Click the first link in the description to start your skincare journey today. How y'all doing?
What's good, fellas?
What it do, what it do, what it do?
What's happening, fellas?
Damn, Kenny ain't on here.
Hey, you need to watch your mouth, man. The gooch gonna be here. The gooch is gonna be here, dog.
Man, I
Press
can't.
the issue.
I done
Lord,
got
don't
all
press the
fresh
issue,
and ready.
Oh, Lord. You're gonna pop up like Candyman. You better watch yourself.
Right.
Oh man.
What up, though?
Just a
What up,
couple
though,
people
fellas?
anyhow,
Biz, what up? Hank,
Good to you
what up?
guys. So we got Jolie is in the chat. Got Dale Matthew, what's going on? And Aisha. How you doing, man? I'm just listening today. Hank is in the chat. Hank, I hardly ever see you in the chat, really, man. Like, what inspired you, brother?
Every once I gotta let my presence be felt, Gerald. You know how they go.
I got Sir Nick said my biggest pet peeve about these podcasts are they never shut Keisha up. She's allowed to steamroll the conversation and they just smile at her. It's all about equality, Sir Nick. Want to make sure we have equality on the panel. Power Driver, what's going on? Charles Merchant. How you doing? Yeah, he was real active. Coco says y'all ain't started yet. We are starting now, Miss Coco. Hopefully I'm able to see you in the chat, participating and saying you're one president, 48 United States to truly stop broken homes in the future of American society. No pregnancy until legal marriage or written contract agreement. Okay, men and women, no questions asked. Got Richie Black going on to everyone that's in attendance right now. Got Casey is in the house as well. She did mention she will be tuning in and was looking forward to the discussion. So make sure you gentlemen are not shy. Make sure y'all not getting off too early, Sherm. I think I believe all these people came here to hear what you had to say, Sherm. They ain't seen you in a while.
Hey, and he on the West Coast. On top of that,
Yeah, he on the West Coast with that. So
I'll be sleepy, bruh.
man, I think you owe it to them because they're probably not going to see you for another 6 months. So I think you should go ahead and get the people what they've been waiting for, Sherm.
Hey, man, I appreciate that, Lapeef. I appreciate you, brother. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, there you go, man. There you go. All right. Anyhow, we're gonna go ahead and get the show started, man. I'm make sure y'all cop that Teach. They are giving early Black Friday deals and half off on skincare routines. That link is in the description. Go ahead, and they got all type of goodies over there, man. I just used it not too long ago. It works wonders. I am proud of it. Excellent product for men. No cap. No cap. Do me a favor, hit that like button if you haven't already. And if you are watching the replay, make sure you hit that like button as well. All my truck drivers, y'all make sure y'all be safe on the road. I know the conversations can tend to get a little bit heated, but just let us get excited over here. And y'all stay safe out there. I think Viz is in the clear because the Gooch is not here yet. So I think but just make sure you don't bring his name up. If you bring his name up, he's gonna make sure.
Y'all done said it 3 times.
Hey, you call
That's it. It's on now. My
Gucci,
dog,
Gucci Mane, Gucci Mane, Gucci Mane.
my dog is coming.
I gotta keep it real, man. Me and Kenny P been getting along lately, man.
Y'all been getting along?
Yeah, man.
Well, you know, he just hey, Law, he just had to grow on you a little bit. That's all. It took a little time, but that's all right.
Pause.
Oh,
Say that
Gucci. That was one of the moments you had to pause on. Okay, right on.
that goose wearing on.
Precious in the house
on
as
on
well.
you.
Precious. How you?
Y'all don't start being thirsty after you see that picture. Who was Fred? Good evening,
All right,
Precious.
so it's gonna be. Look at Sherm.
He gonna tell. Sure, he gonna tell us not to get thirsty, but see, he already got started.
Started already.
We got an excellent show ahead, man. I'm looking forward to this. Looking forward to this discussion, man. As you guys seen, why aren't Black men held accountable for broken homes? When is the last time? Well, let me ask you, gentlemen on the panel, just to kind of open it up. Have you ever held any men accountable before, like the men that's in your circle? And if so, like, yeah,
all the time.
Definitely.
That's what we do.
Yeah, they don't like it at all, but hey.
Well, what type of accountability are you holding them to?
Getting a bunch of different women pregnant.
Getting a bunch of women pregnant. You get that phone away, man. I don't know what you guys. You sound like some aliens about to dump your mic, Outlaw.
Yeah, Marcus got that chipmunk joint going.
I think that was Mark. I think that might have been Law. He got his phone too close.
About was.
Man, what the fuck are you doing?
Mind your business, Negro.
Here,
answer the question, man. Quit worrying about me.
We can't because we hearing them clicks.
He's sending out Morse code.
I mean, really, bro, I feel like it boils down to like say, I'm gonna give an example of when I was like 14 and Law was actually in California at the time. And we was arguing, well, they were arguing with a friend of the family about him getting so many abortions, you know, and that was just like, man, that shit ain't cool. You got like 8-9 abortions. You need to just have a kid, blah, blah, blah. And I was just so surprised at that conversation, being so young, listening to like, you know, them hold him accountable, because the way we're raised is just like, you know, you don't want no babies. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to have no babies, wear a condom, you know, pull out, whatever the case may be. But to hear other men that are young, because I was about 3.5 years older than me, to hear another man hold another man accountable to become a father, was kind of like eye-opening for me. You know what I'm saying? Because like we grew up in a society where it was just like, man, if she get pregnant, just have an abortion, just have an abortion. But to hear somebody say if she get pregnant, you know, hold it down, bro, or use protection, or stop getting all these women pregnant. You know what I'm saying? That kind of like opened my eyes where I was just like, damn, you know, shit, maybe I gotta make sure I'm straight, because a lot of these things wouldn't even be a question if I could control my shit. You know what I'm saying? So from that conversation, I looked at it like, if I don't want to get a girl pregnant, I have to wear a condom, or I have to have preventative measures to not do it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
Like, and that's why I always tell people when it comes to, well, tell men when it comes to them being accountable, is that you are in control of the seed, bro. The seed comes out of you and goes into the woman. So you are responsible, period. I don't care what anybody say. I've heard guys say, man, that bitch got pregnant and, you know, had the baby. I'm like, what happened? Did she steal your sperm, bro? Like, what are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like, you made this happen, bro. You know, and so that's where I'm coming from, bro. I feel like at the end of the day, you know, as a man, as a leader, everything that happens to the people that's up under you and following you, you're responsible for. You know, you can't complain about your woman, you can't complain about your children. You are responsible for it all. And so I would tell people, I'm like, man, if I'm, you know, I said for my birthday 2 years ago, right? Me and the wife was celebrating together, and she had to get her hair done. And I was like, fuck, I guess I got to clean up the whole house. You know, I'm wiping walls, I'm doing all kind of stuff, because my whole idea of it is that I don't want people to come here and see my house being raggedy. Because at the end of the day, they're going to look at it like, hey, man, that's on Sherm.
All right, thank you for that, sir.
Damn.
Land that plane.
I don't know what that flight shit mean.
No, that was landing that plane. Land that plane.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I mean, you know.
Go ahead. Any other gentleman on the panel has held a man accountable, and if so, what did you hold him accountable?
I don't know
for?
no other way. You know what I'm saying? I'm the type, like he said, I don't know no other way. And what he talking about, Joe, that was literally 20, maybe 23, going on 24 years ago when I was having a conversation with one of my partners. You know what I'm saying? I'm a ripe 17, 18 years old. You know what I'm saying? And my partner, he bragging about how many chicks he, you know what I'm saying, had get an abortion. And it just was not sitting right with me. You know I'm sorry, deletion. You know what I'm saying? It just was not sitting right with me.
You can say, I think you can say it. It's cool.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, we was having it out about it. You know what I'm saying? And you know, this is my homie. I love him to death, but he was wrong. You know what I'm saying? And that's just something that I didn't even know he was going to bring up. And then even more so in another scenario where it's even closer to us, like you know, I'm just not a big fan of people breaking up their homes. You know what I'm saying? If you married, look, you got to die on that sword, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're supposed to do whatever you can to keep that together. But yeah, I don't know if y'all check it out, but you know, I hold people accountable as much as I can. You know what I'm saying? At any chance I get, I'm gonna speak my piece.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me ask Law a question. Is there any difference when a man is cheating on his wife, like intentionally, just being reckless throughout the marriage, versus him?
So for me, here's my thing. I don't get into somebody's business to that degree, because my thing is, if a man is taking care of his and his household, that's what I care about. If you bring seeds in, you need to be making sure you take care of your seeds. You know what I'm saying? You can't be out here, you know what I'm saying, just leaving shorties all around the world, you know what I'm saying, and not taking care of them. You know, what somebody does with his own how you want to sow his oats, that's his business. You feel me? But you got to make sure if that's what you're doing, you taking care of your home, because that's what comes first.
Okay, so you don't have a problem with your homeboy cheating, just as long as he.
That's not, for me, that's not my business. You know what I'm saying? To that degree, it's
my business
is, huh? If I know about it, I mean, again, it depends. That's not my business. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna sit here and be like, hey, why are you doing that? That's not my business. My
Well, he's
business
trying to get you to
is,
say you don't have a problem with it,
you
or
know,
no?
I know what he's saying. Look, it ain't my business. You feel me? That's not my business. That doesn't dictate to me. That doesn't dictate how that man takes care of his family. You know what I'm saying? That's he the one, because if she find out and leave him, that ain't my business. Don't come telling me about it. You can't come stay with me. You know what I'm saying? You can't come. You feel me? I'm not gonna be able to save it for you. That's on you. You better know what you're doing if that's what you're doing. You feel me? That's where I draw the line at.
Okay. All right. Go ahead, Viz. I know you was trying to say something. I didn't mean to cut you off, brother.
No, you good. I think the piggyback off of what Law is saying, I feel like as long that first time that you find out and you be like, you know, hey, bro, said, hey, you make your bed, you lay in that motherfucker. That's at that point, that's all that you can say, you know. Now, of course, it's a choice if you continue to hang out with them or involve yourself with them, whatever type of way. That goes to the next level. But I feel like men have always held other men accountable. It seems like until I got into this space, that holding another man accountable, you consider it a simp now. And it's like, I don't even understand how that even happened, of where just me saying, hey, bro, that shit not cool, or, you know what I'm saying, you need to be taking care of your seed type of deal, and not blaming it fully on the woman that you now a simp somehow. But I think that was a common practice at one point. But now it seems like it's easier to pass it off on the woman.
All right. Go ahead, Hink.
Yeah, I mean, as far as my friends, that's hasn't been a problem with them because you could choose them, but you know, family you can't choose, right? So one of the hardest things is when you got to challenge family because it could cause rift in the family. You know what I'm saying? But there was, you know, a couple of times where we had to challenge each other. But shit, I had a time where they challenged me. You know, when I was going through my process of divorce. You know what I'm saying? And let me know, you know, I know you about to make this decision. You know, you about to go through the decision. Are you willing to, you know, try to fight back? And of course, you know, during that time I did. We ended up getting back together probably about a couple years after the divorce, but it just didn't work out. And I let them know. I said it just didn't work out, man. You know, what my standards I had set for her, she wasn't really fulfilled. I told her I just couldn't get married. So they challenged me, family, and friends challenged me on that situation. But you know, we also, you know, challenged my cousin on what he's doing. You know, he's out there just having all these kids, man, and not really take care of. You know what I'm saying? You can't be hit and miss. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, 1 month you in our full blown life, but then the next month we can't find you. You know, your baby mother's calling us because they know we close to you. You know what I'm saying? Could we talk to you? Could we talk to you about, you know, picking your kids up or getting you that stuff that we them clothes you supposed to be getting for them for school? So, you know, it's one of those things that I think as men we should do for one another, because if we want to see us better, we got to be better as a collective. We can't always just be better as individuals. And so part of doing that is challenging each other. I know somebody in the chat said we didn't challenge that dude with all them kids. Maybe she didn't see the whole conversation, because we did challenge that brother, man. We challenged him every corner, everything he said. It wasn't nothing he said that wasn't challenged. So yeah, I mean, men challenge other men on a regular basis. Real men. You know what I'm saying? Now you got these clowns, they'll just let shit pass and let it be okay. Well, they remind me of women, because we all know most 90% of the time women don't hold each other accountable. And those men who act like women not gonna hold each other accountable. They don't want to say, they just let it slide, just let it be. No. That's not how we should roll. If you want to see your brother be better, man, challenge him, help him, educate him, teach him. You know what I'm saying? Whatever correction he needs to make, bring it to his attention. Man, don't just let him fall by the wayside. We doing him a disservice. So I'll leave it there.
Okay. All right. Go ahead, M. White. You ever held any of your brothers accountable? And if so, what was it? You know, we can't hear you. So, you know, you sound like a chipmunk, man. Nah, it's
And
just
it ain't
doing the
my
same thing
fault
it was
this
doing
time.
before. Yeah, it's doing the same thing it was doing before. And why you correct that? Go ahead, Trev.
Yeah, it ain't me.
So holding, well, men holding each other accountable is a necessary evil. I surround my people who will continue to hold me accountable as I'm able to comfortably hold them accountable. It's one of those things where, steel sharpens steel, and we have to make sure that we keep each other on point. Because sometimes you're gonna slip. You get into your own little world, sometimes you might. You know what I mean? And it's something that we have to do. And I wouldn't really want to be around people who I couldn't be honest with. And you know what I'm saying? I need to be me. I'm at a point in my life right now where I don't even associate myself with cats outside of like high and by unless I could really let's let my hair down. I need to be myself around you. I don't like to like pander to people. I don't like to be fraud. That's just not my style. So if you have that type of a bond and that's really your man's, you should be comfortable telling them when something ain't right. If they're not doing something right, then you should be able to pull a coat. I'm a firm believer in pulling a coat when you see somebody wilding out. One of the main examples that I've had is like where cats are just not handling their finances right, buying stupid shit, and you still living with the moms and shit. I'm like, bro, what we doing? Do you have some type of a plan? Why are you riding around with a 300 credit score? And it's easy. Let me get you right. Like we get this shit straight in 6 months. You're gonna send letters to the right people. We're gonna change your spending habits. We're gonna learn how to save and invest. And it's just things that we should all do. And I've had people pull my code. That's how I've been able to get to the level of where I am right now, right? And I'm pretty comfortable. I ain't no multimillionaire or nothing at this point yet, but I'm very comfortable, and it's because of people who have held me accountable and showed me the way. Like, yo, you got to do this better. This ain't. Nah, you got to be on your shit, and it's important. We should feel comfortable doing that. If you can't tell that to your peoples that you talk to on a regular basis, you and they main contacts, and you could just scroll down real quick and find a number, and you can't talk to them like that, you out here wilding. That's not the type of friends you should have. Honesty is extremely important. And part of honesty is telling people when they shit is wrong. And a lot of us are sometimes too passive to do that, or you don't want to rub people the wrong way, pause, or you don't want to offend somebody, but you need to be able to offend somebody sometimes. And you shouldn't take offense to it. If somebody's telling me something that's in my best interest to do, that's going to help me do better, then I want to hear it. And I would hope that you would want to hear it too. I kind of want to talk about what Law was speaking of a minute ago, because like with the women thing, man. Um, so sometimes you'll see a dude and he might have like what you would consider a really good woman, right? And you'll see him do some things and you just might not say anything about it. And I don't know, that's a different situation. And it's just part of that. It's man code, man. We don't really interfere with that because we don't always know the ins and outs of what's going on with that situation. And you don't know, like sometimes men's needs just ain't being met. So it's something that we kind of mutually understand. And y'all can feel a way about it, and I know females might feel a way about it, but if that's the homie, man, that ain't my place to tell him what to do because I'm not in the bed with that bro. Pause. Like I'm whatever he doing with his girl, his wife, his fiance, his significant other, whatever, that's what they do. And or not do for that matter. So who am I to tell this man like, nah, man, what you doing? I don't it is what it is. I wouldn't stand for him like abusing her and shit like that. But man, look, dudes gonna do what they do at the time, man. It is what it is. And us as men, we understand it. And y'all could y'all could tell me that I'm wrong for condoning it. That's your opinion. I don't encourage it. I don't put the bros in situations to do that. But if that's what the hell he do, man, then it is what it is.
But
I'll leave it
Trev,
to you. Go ahead.
So
Go ahead.
I think am I good now?
yeah, you good.
All right, I can go.
Yeah, go ahead and go.
All right. So now with all the homies, if you don't take care of your kids, we can't fuck with you. Like we can't be associated and fucking with you, hanging out with you. The whole cheating thing, I'm kind of I'm with Trev and along that. Like I'm not holding that to the same accord. We kind of think about it a little differently. Like I don't think that it can break up your family, so it's not ideal. But I've never disassociated myself with a friend because they had another woman on the side or something. It's just never happened. Like honestly speaking about it, but definitely disassociated. One of the guys that didn't want to be in the life of the child because he was fighting with the baby moms. I thought that shit was unacceptable. So we lightweight kind of got into it and even talked to me for a couple months about that. My homies could tell me something about myself, but it got to be from a place of love. Some people just be, you know what I'm saying, picking. If you like a picky type of person, nah, that shit ain't gonna fly. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's just different how we view that, because the main thing that takes precedence to me, and I think most of my homies share the same sentiment, is the man being there for his kids, financially providing, and just being in the gap when he needed. And I know we glaze over it, but the way a man's nature is set up, we all kind of understand it. Some shit could happen like on the sexual side, and we don't hold that to the same way we do when it comes to the responsibility of being there for your family. I know some of the women might not like it, some people might not like it, but I think we all kind of understand that factor.
I think the sticky part is if he's comfortable with doing it out in the open. Like if you just blatantly out in the open, we going out, you know what I'm saying, we go to a bar and you pull up with your side piece, then no, that's to me that's a problem. If you married and you comfortable, you all out with it like that, then it's like, nah, bro, you know what I'm saying, you what you own, you know, type of deal. Just because now you're getting sloppy. So
Have you ever stopped being friends with somebody behind that?
Yeah. Some of the homies that I know that cheat on his wife, was cheating on his wife, they not together now. Yeah, I don't even fuck with bro like that.
And is it, would you say, Viz, would you say it's based on that, or was it just other things?
I mean, it was other things. So I feel like if you're comfortable enough to do that, then you're lacking in values in other areas as well. You know what I'm saying? So for me and where I'm trying to go in the image that I have, I don't, you know what I'm saying, I don't want to directly associate with a person like that.
Got you. Yeah, and you know what I'm saying? It's been scenarios where me, myself, I've had to tell cats like, bro, what you doing? You know what I'm saying? Whereas, you know, it's one thing to, you know, he's doing this, that, and the other, but when you show blatant, like, that you just don't care, you coming in before the sun beating you home, you know what I'm saying? You making yourself look crazy. You know what I'm saying? You have no real decorum or accountability for the way you acting towards your scenario. You know, that can get sticky. Like, bro, what you doing? You messy. You know what I mean? You not handling your business. That's something I would say to somebody. You know what I mean? But I'm not gonna sit here and get all in this mix because some girl call his phone, bro. That's you. Like I said, if that's what you want to do, you better make sure you know what you're doing, because you know the consequences that come with that if the shit backfire. So, you know what I'm saying? Don't look, you know what you're doing, Playboy. You feel me?
All right. Before I go to Kenny, it's a lot of people in the chat right now that's kind of disappointed in you guys' responses. And I think one of the questions that they may want to ask is, if you guys are not holding the men that's close to you accountable, then why is it so easy for you guys to hold women accountable that you don't even know?
I would challenge anybody on this panel to see a scenario where they feel like they should be saying something to a woman about her cheating on her man. That ain't my business either. Y'all gonna have to figure that out. You know what I'm saying? But now if that woman ain't taking care of her kids, she ain't shit. You feel me? That's somebody's own personal decision on what they gonna do. You know what I'm saying? But my thing is these families that we talking about. I don't care what you're doing with your wang. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what you're doing. That's not my business. But these kids, these families that we building, that's what I care about. You know what I'm saying? That's something I can speak on to you. You feel me?
Okay. Go ahead, Kenny.
Peace to the panel. At one
What's up,
point in
Pete?
time,
What's happening, bro?
what's going on? What's going on? At one point in time in your life, you got to stand for something. I've had friends that I have to love from afar because I'm not going to get close with the woman in your life, which now becomes like my sister. And I know you doing X, Y, Z. Because at one point in time, you got a conscience, and that don't make you less of a man. Because when you think about it, you're actually complicit with that behavior with somebody saying they stepping out. Now, if there's a conversation with your peoples that, you know, we doing the poly thing, we open, I get it. But now if you openly deceiving somebody that now I grew an attachment to, because you can't say that's your man if they married, she becomes like your sister. And you're okay with him doing that to her. Let's think about the STDs bringing home something. Let's think about the toxic chick that might want to come fight the wife. Actually seen it. He mine too. What? Let's think about the variables that come with that. We're not kids no more. You're standing on some bullshit G code. Karma's real. And karma touch you too. Because you actually are accessory to it. At one point in time, you got to stand for something. There's a lot of guys that say they biblical, they about their nuclear families. But when this topic was brought up, they moved different. So you 1 foot in, 1 foot out? Oh, you're not a loving father, huh, Marcus?
Why the fuck is you talking to me? I'm why
No,
like
no,
why
I'm
the fuck
giving
is
you no,
talking
I'm
to
not
me? Don't
disrespecting you.
mention my
Hold on,
fucking name,
listen.
dude. Why the fuck is you
Hold
even
on,
talking
I'm
to
not
me?
disrespecting you, Marcus. Watch this. Stop jumping off the handle thinking somebody's trying to disrespect you. Watch me. I'm not disrespecting you. I swear. You're a loving father, but how could you say that? If you're raising no, I'm just giving a generalization, not being specific. You gave a model that I'm using. Just calm down. Okay, I'm raising under these tenets, and I'm trying to be the best father that I can be. But now, if I'm doing that, and then I hold these values out here, am I being the best father I can? I just wanted your feedback. Get that thing out your heart. I'm talking to the man, the progressive father.
Again, I just told what I say when I first came up here. If I fuck with you like that, then yeah, you can say something to me. But if you a picky type of person, a little nag, don't say shit to me. I consider you a picky type of person. Don't say shit to me, bro. Make your point and move on. You don't gotta address me.
Hey, Kenny, you could use me as an example because I had the same sentiment.
Okay, that I pose that to you. So Marcus, I won't make that mistake again. Trying to make amends with you. So go ahead.
You're on mute, Trev. You're on mute, Trev.
My bad. So I'll say it like this. There are certain things that as far as how that's going, where I would put your coat. I wouldn't suggest anybody have any unprotected situations because you know the rules. You can't bring any STDs back. You can't bring any babies back. You should be protecting yourself, right? And some people will say, "Well, damn, what you mean? It ain't no right way to do the wrong thing." Okay, cool. Y'all can stand on that, and that's fine. I'm just telling you how the shit go for real. And you know, my moral compass may not point in the same direction as yours, and I'm gonna accept that, right? And I'm only going by situations because I made a whole video about it. Sometimes a side joint will actually enhance a relationship. And maybe you don't believe in that. But a lot of the things that he may expect from his wife, maybe she can't do or is not willing to do, but he doesn't want to break up his family. Maybe he's in a situation that he doesn't want to all the way be in. So, but he's not putting her in predicaments. There's certain things that maybe she just can't perform or her duties or whatever, and that's possible. But he wants to be around his kids. He still wants to take care of his family. He's still fulfilling his duties, and he's not taking anything away from her. He might just be getting it and going. Now, when you start trying to go out, like Viz was talking about, showing off and bringing around everybody and doing the most. Now I think you crossing that line at that point. But I'm just being realistic about how things work, and I can absolutely separate the idea of someone being a solid dude. There's plenty of people who I could trust with money, trust with family, and everything else, but they still happen to cheat. They still a solid ass dude in every other facet. Like I could trust them with everything, and have people I've known for decades, right? And they straight every other way. They just so happen to dip off every here and there to take care of a sexual appetite. And I'm not going to say that this is right or wrong. I certainly don't believe in karma. I can tell you that because that's not real. But what I'm saying is, if that's what he wants to do, and he's functioning as he's not a degenerate. I mean, he's doing what he do, but he's still a solid dude out of that. He's still taking care of his family. He's still making sure his wife wants for nothing. He's still taking her trips. He's still fulfilling all of his other duties. But he just need to dip off now and then to go ahead and scratch that itch. And I'm not saying it's right, but I'm just saying that's realistic and that's how I feel about it. And I won't judge a man based on that because there are men and women are wired differently. There are some females who will, fuck you under the table, but not really. Most men have an insatiable thirst, or not most, a good amount of men do. And their wife possibly can't keep up with it. That's why some people date multiple women or have the polygamy, which is more realistic for everyone to be forthcoming about it. I would prefer people did that. But most men ain't in a position to have a woman do that. Most women, you not normally going to get with a woman that's going to go for that. To be honest, you got to be like one of them guys. And most of us ain't one of them guys. So it's not realistic
So
for them to do it that way.
Yeah.
okay, so with all that being said, Trev, is it comfortable is it comfortable for you to build a bond with his wife or his woman, knowing that this is happening and she is tight with you as for a love and space? Because I know you got people in your life that good friends, and you're real tight with their females as well, and you look at them like sisters. Does the dynamic make you feel a type of way, knowing that this is a woman, she does not step out, loving mother, and so on and so forth, but old boy, he's doing this thing on the side? Or do
Not at
or do
all.
you like
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. No, it doesn't make me feel any type of way because I understand I'm a man too, right? And
What?
even though that might be something that I don't practice, I can absolutely empathize with it. That's just my stance on it.
Let me jump in there, Joe, because my thing is
respect?
we gotta like, we can't come in here and act like hypocrites. You feel me? We sit up here and talk about how when a man does this, it's not because he, want to leave his family, he ain't in love and this, that, and the other. It's not because of feelings. A man can go do X, Y, Z and not think about it tomorrow. We also have to look at that in this scenario. If I say these things, right, and this is something that we all understand it to be true, right? How am I gonna fault somebody that's what they're doing? No, I fault a man about being a responsible man. You feel me? Are you taking care of your responsibilities? That's what I care about. You know what I'm saying? Are you moving like a man? Are you moving the way you should be moving? If not, then you probably need to get your priorities in order. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna sit here and when it comes down to building a relationship with his woman and all that, bro, look, that's not that don't even correlate to me. You know what I'm saying? That's not my business. Because I don't want that to be my business. Don't come asking me nothing about what y'all got going on. Don't ask me nothing about what he did. I don't want to know about it, because the way you keep your marriage together is to keep y'all business in-house. That's y'all business. Don't come talking to me about it. You feel me? That has nothing to do with me.
And I have to respect that, Lord. That's why we have differences of opinion. I can respect how you see your POV, but I don't feel that way. And, you know, I'm standing on a different, because if I build a relationship with you, it would bother my conscience. And everybody's allowed to think the way they wish to think. Now, if it's that your wife, that would really bother my conscience. If it's your girl, I would try to make distance, because I don't want to involve myself with no one ever having to come and ask me questions regarding things that women intuition pick up and so on and so forth. So out of respect for that person and their relationship, real quick, Law, I would make distance. I would dap you up and stuff, but I just don't want to be in a point where I may potentially have to be lying to somebody.
Right.
And I got what you said.
I got you. And that's why it ain't my business. Don't come ask me nothing, because I'm not lying about it, because I don't know shit. That ain't got nothing to do with me. You feel me? like real talk, that's something that as a man he would have to handle, or vice versa. You know what I'm saying? But as far as like, it was a joke that I heard this cat saying on another podcast. He was like, Joe, why you worried about how she feel? You want my woman? You know what I'm saying? Like, real talk, like why you care so much? You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't got nothing to do with you. You feel me? Like, so you know,
I don't know, Law. And it's crazy for me to say this, but I damn near agree with Kenny on this one.
Oh, wait. Did y'all get that on camera? Did that book it? Mark it on the calendar, y'all.
Yeah, no, I feel like if this is your wife, it's especially me now, you know what I'm saying, as a grown man. When I was younger, running the streets, doing my thing, yeah, maybe, okay, I could get it. But as a grown man now, if I associate myself with you, me and my old lady, we going out with you and your old lady, we building this bond, this relationship, and you know what I'm saying, and you creeping, you sloppy with it, you're letting it be known, then it's like, yeah, I damn near don't, I damn near can't associate myself with you, you know what I'm saying, like that. I may say something, you know what I'm saying, but I'm gonna leave it as that, because just as we all addressed, you a grown ass man too, so you gonna do whatever you want to with your dick. I can't police that, and that's not my job to. But at the same time, just as Trev spoke in scripture tells us, iron sharpens iron. Me personally, I do believe in karma. You know, you reap what you sow. So if that's what you're putting out into the universe, then in some way, shape, or form, that's gonna come back on you. And however it is that it comes back on you, who's to say? But you know, I think that there is a line that has to be drawn. You know what I'm saying? If we built the bond, if me and Marcus, we kicking it every single day type shit, we talk every day or something, and I find out that he cheating on his wife, then yeah, man, bro, what's up with that? What's going on? You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna check in, see if it's something going on in the household. Just because that's on some real shit, Law. I mean, we all came from the streets. So shit, if you was out of line, nigga, you was in violation. You had to stand in a circle and be on and it has to be talked about in front of everybody. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I grew up. That's
So I get your point, right? And yeah, you is right about the violations. But so this is how I took the question, right? Like, I wouldn't advocate for nobody to be out there cheating on their wife. I'm not gonna say go cheat on your wife. I'm strictly looking at it from the sense of, in real life situations, I done cut somebody off for not taking care of their kids. But if I seen them cheating, I've never cut nobody off behind that. And for me to come up and say that I would do that or I've done that, I would be lying about that. Now, trying, man, Joe, everything cool? Or if it seemed like he in a fucked up situation and he just trying to get through, I might give him some game or some advice on how to try and fix the relationship. Or I always advocate for people to be honest, but I've never cut nobody like off for that. And I get it. I get like the point of view that you standing on. Like some people would be like, if you sold drugs before, I can't fuck with you. I ain't never cut nobody off for that neither. You know what I'm saying? I'm not condoning and saying to go do it, but I'm saying realistically speaking, I've never said I'm not messing with somebody based off of this particular offense. But there is offenses like you touch a child or some shit. I'm not fucking with you ever again.
Right.
You don't take care of your kids. I'm not fucking with you ever again. Now, I'm not condoning it and saying, you know what I'm saying, certain things is right or wrong. I'm just saying, would I cut you off for completely? That wouldn't be the thing that I'll do it for.
Let me say this. But y'all let me jump in there real quick.
You on,
Man, listen.
you on
These
mute.
women in the
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Brody, who
Y'all
was
hear me?
muted?
Yeah, we can hear you in law.
Yeah. But look, real quick, I just want to say this. These women in the chat need to know they lying. Like they hold their homegirls accountable for having side niggas and going on these girl trips and come on, y'all, shut up with that. Y'all know good and well y'all ain't holding these women accountable. Man, SMD. You know what I'm saying?
You know it's some bullshit, law. You know it.
You know what I'm saying? Come on, bro. They over there talking. I'm reading the chat I'm like, what are y'all talking about? I'm disappointed with these men. Girl, that ain't my business. Just like it ain't your business when you be letting your homegirls, y'all go on these girl trips and y'all do this, that, and the other. You ain't telling her, girl, you wrong. You know what I'm saying? Y'all be encouraging the bullshit. Y'all got whole movies dedicated to it. Shut up.
I mean, in all honesty, bro, I feel like a lot of people just don't know. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't put their business out there and they private with what they do. You know what I'm saying? But for me, it's like, you know, if I see you, whatever. But I did have a situation where it was easy to cut off one of my homeboys because my woman was friends with his woman and he will always get caught up. And then his woman will be talking to my woman about it. And I was like, God, come on. You know what I'm saying? She calling saying, is he really over your house? I'm like, God damn, bro. You know, like what's going on? I was like, okay, yeah, this is getting too much. You know, that is sloppy. You know what I'm saying? Where everybody know when you're getting caught up, whatever. But if I just so happen to catch you or whatever, bro, I might be like, man, I don't know who that woman was. It's probably his cousin, his little sister. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But I'm minding my own business and hey, you know, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
That shit don't never go right. If you see somebody cheating and you recognize that they cheating and you don't say nothing and they get caught, he knew.
Or yeah, but who gonna know that I knew? You know what I'm saying? That's what I mean. Like a lot of this stuff really ain't gonna happen.
When I was running the club downtown, called Red Kiva, the owner woman was cheating on him. I'm driving in traffic. I look over. I see another nigga with his legs up on the dash. I say, oh hell no. I turn my head like I ain't see the shit. I go to the gig that night, to the club, and then she was trying to talk to me about it. I'm like, man, I don't know what you're doing, but whatever you're doing, you just need to fix that and be discreet. I don't know. I ain't see it. So she get caught. First thing she tell the owner is, yeah, he knew about it. I'm like, why you even bring me in this shit? I ain't got nothing to do with this.
Yeah, that
shit blew all the way up. And then when I was younger, like 2 times I actually tried to tell the guy, one of my teammates' girlfriend had went in his phone and took my number out and started trying to text me. I'm like, bro, get your girl. She just texted me. He don't leave her, get mad at me. The nigga don't want to pass me the ball now and all type of extra goofy shit. And the other time, my homie Ray, I tell him about his girl. This was in my early 20s. I stopped that shit. I stay out people's business now. But in my early 20s, shit, he mad. He down there trying to beat the girl to death. He get a domestic and got back with her when he got out. I'm like, man, I'm out that shit. That shit don't never.
That's why you stay
out
of people's business.
You stay out of it because I've witnessed that happen. One of my homeboys told that his chick was cheating and shit, and then he was like, oh, word. He approached her about it, knew exactly where it came from, and they got back together. Now, guess what? You the odd man out because she ain't gonna let you mess with homeboy no more. That's the funny part. So now you out the circle completely. Just mind your business. You know what I'm saying? Like, mind your business. It ain't your business. Leave it alone.
Um, uh,
So, so
Go
with
ahead.
me saying all that, all those stories and testimonies, me being proactive, they just told you the latter part. So where was I wrong? If you dissect the stories that was just told, where was I wrong?
Well, bro,
Kenny, I
you
don't
got to
think you're
remember
wrong.
that.
I think you just
Yeah.
have a different perspective. I don't think you're wrong. I can't fault what you're saying. I respect how you feel, how Viz feel. I don't see anything wrong about it. And maybe my sentiment is wrong, right? But it's just honest. That's how
I'm
I
not
feel about
saying
it.
that. The point I'm pointing out is you every man up here has the ability to play chess. They see the long game of what could possibly happen. My saying, I don't want if you put me in a position where I'm close with your woman and I know you in the get down, I'm gonna make sure I'm preventative to make myself not around. When I'm gonna love you from a distance, I'm gonna cut off conversation with her because I know what the bad could, that's gonna come from this. And I don't think it's wrong. Everybody got their POV, but I'm standing on mine because that limits the trouble. The percentages go way down. I gotta love you from afar. That don't mean I don't rock with you. That don't mean if you got a flat at 12 in the morning, I'm not gonna come check on you. But as for the other things, rubbing shoulders and be there with you all the time, nah. I have to make space. That's for my sanity and peace.
So check it, Joe. I remember this story I heard, and I was trying to remember exactly who told it to me, but I believe it was somebody on the podcast. That's the Facts to Law Pod show. If y'all don't know, you know what I'm saying? Shameless plug, but not. But on a serious note, bro, this cat was telling me this story about how he was at the club one night and he saw his homeboy's wife in somebody's section, all hugged up, kicking it, this, that, and the other. So he took a picture of her, you know what I'm saying, and sent it to his boy, like, man, bro, you know what I'm saying? He ain't think nothing of it. He go about the rest of his night. Oh, girl left. He left. He get a call in the morning from somebody else in their circle, but he's locked up. He didn't. When she got home, he unalived her. You feel me? He unalived her, and he got locked up. So he's doing life. She's gone because you ain't mind your business. That's they shit. Let them handle it because now he feels responsible for both of them lives being gone. You dig what I'm saying? If I wouldn't have said nothing and just let them figure it out or whatever the case may be, it's like you're just putting yourself in scenarios that ain't really your business. You don't know what's going on in their household. You know what I'm saying? You don't know if they had discussed separating or, you just want to stay out of that. You know what I'm saying? Because you just never know, bro. And when you interject yourself into somebody else's scenarios, you put yourself in a scenario that you could be like he feeling like that, brother. Like you were the cause of two lives being gone. So mind your business is always the best process. The only time when it comes for people that I say can't take care of themselves, as in children, that I would feel like it's time for me to say something. You know what I'm saying? If you're not, or if he's literally leaving his house 3-4 days out the week and not coming home, like, all right, bro, you tripping? What's up, man? What you got going? You feel me? But outside of that, I'm not getting in that, bro.
Yes. So I think when we was having this discussion, I mean that's kind of like getting involved with his wife going on, but you close to him. So I don't think that was necessary like this scenario, but I can understand what Viz and what Kenny is really saying. I'm pretty sure the older we get, our circles get smaller. And I know we've all done dirt, but as you evolve like mentally, I think that you kind of want to strive to do the right thing for the most part. At least the people that I know on this panel and the people that's been around me. Like I've done some effed up things, right? I've been a part of the code. But the older that I've gotten, I have a close circle, so I'm comfortable to be able to speak with them in all type of capacities, right? I don't like that. There's no filter. And some of them even come and ask me some questions about my opinions, and how I look at life is a little bit different. So I am to say, like, look, you don't want to go down this route. This is what I experienced. I'm trying to tell you, make sure like you keep your family together. Make sure I don't have no problem speaking to these people in this way, because I don't believe that I'm saying anything wrong. It's not getting their business, but if I do see someone close to me, I'm not going to impose myself on them. But if we having a conversation about like some real life things, and we, talking about like where we see our future going for our families and life and careers, then I'm gonna bring it up in the conversation. But I think it's just going to just organically happen. It's not me just seeking them out saying, "Hey, come here. I seen you doing this. Is what you're doing." Now, if you're being reckless or something like that, and I see the kids suffering, or I may see the wife suffering, then I may have a conversation with him, man. Like, like you're good. Now, if he's kind of standoffish a little bit, I'm gonna leave it at that. But if he be like, "Yeah, everything cool, man. She's just been tripping a little bit lately," then I might open up the conversation like that. But I am a little bit more conscious about things around me now. I think we at that age where it's like, I don't know, man. Sometimes you just got to have those tough conversations with your guys, because I would hope they would have it with me. I don't have no problem with somebody telling me if I'm moving out here foul or doing anything, because how else am I gonna know when I'm getting to a level of growth if I keep repeating the same BS?
Yeah, there's a saying that if you love me, then tell me when I'm wrong. So that's why I say I think it depends on how close that person is in the circle. Well, shit, at this point, if you are in the circle, then it's almost like it's a necessity to say something. I ain't gonna scold you, but to at least touch bases and be like, man, what's up with you and the old lady? Just to see where y'all at. Is this something that's falling apart, or whatever the case may be? Because in most cases, most men don't feel comfortable enough with talking with their homies. The relationship may not be there where they feel vulnerable enough to share whatever information. So that may be an opportunity for us to grow our bond to be stronger. Again, for iron to sharpen iron. So if we can address this situation, and I can potentially give an outside perspective to hopefully save the marriage or whatever the case may be, then hey, shit, let's do it. But if he don't want to hear it, then hey, shit, I did what I could do, and that's it. That's all.
All right, like I say, somebody put that up there. That question up there, if I'm telling. Yeah. So like my relationship is with my guy. It's not with my guy's wife or like whoever she may be. So I'm gonna have a conversation with him. I'm not talking to that woman at all. I don't have nothing to say to her. So, that's between whatever they're gonna work out. But if we having a personal conversation, then that's just be a conversation between us. She ain't gotta never know I said anything to him, like unless like he pillow talking.
So, and that's it. Can I go? Okay, cool. In that situation, yeah, I would say something to him, because what I don't want him to do is later on I come down, talk about, crying about, man, my old lady's about to divorce me. I ain't gonna have no sympathy for you, though. You know why she divorced you? Because she caught your sucker ass cheat, man. So now, dog, fuck you. I mean, you brought this shit on yourself. So now it's gonna be hard to have sympathy for a man if he does that. So as a man, I'm gonna say to say, dog, please believe you me. This is not a road you don't want to go down. The reason why I say that, because I did that. I've been there. And I know the consequences. I know the repercussions. If there's anything you can do to correct that, to fix that, to get out of it, you need to do it. I'm telling you, this ain't the road you want to go down. But if he say, hey, fuck you, I'm going to do what I want to do. Cool. Okay, man. Good luck with that situation. I wish you nothing but the best. But let me tell you this, dog. I don't want her shit when it happens. When the shit hit the fans and she leave your ass and take half of your goddamn money, I don't hear shit from me. Don't come talk to me about it, because I ain't gonna want to hear it. Because I told you from the giddy up, dog, you might want to correct your shit. You might want to fix shit. You might want to get out of there while you can. You might want to cut it off while you can. But you chose to do it. Fuck you, man. Find somebody else to cry to. I ain't trying to hear you, though.
All right. We're going to go ahead and move on. I just want to kind of set the temperament, just trying to see how we feel about holding men accountable in our own personal lives. A couple of super chats came through. Queen, Lady $5, is that considered pocket watching to tell someone how to handle their fiance? And we have DJ, so lovely 199 says, if your wife friends cheat, what would you think? Your wife friends cheat, what would you think, Sean?
I mean, honestly, I wouldn't want her to be friends with any women that do that, and I probably wouldn't even be with her if I knew she was with women like, well, you know, around women like that. You know what I'm saying? Or even friends with women like that. And I feel like a lot of people put themselves in situations without assessing the entirety of the situation to see if you can handle it. You know, I wouldn't marry a woman that, you know, goes to the club with her homegirls all the time, or come home drunk after going out, or, you know what I'm saying? If I don't want to handle that smoke, I'm not going to deal with a woman that does anything like that. You know what I mean? Like, oh, it's my birthday, bitch. I'm got balloons and I'm out. That ain't my speed, because I know I won't be able to handle that shit. You know what I'm saying?
JR, could you bring that, I think the first super chat back up? Saying Queen
I'm
Lady.
a
It was
finance.
it was directed to me. So I was gonna answer real quick.
Hold on,
So
let's bring it up.
yeah, so it was saying, is that considered pocket watching to tell someone how to handle their finances? So um when I did that, it was like because people ain't right. A lot of times they might ask me for bread or some shit. And at that point, yeah, if you owe me money, you goddamn right I'm pocket watching. Because you in debt at that point. So that's how I'm coming. Like it is what it is. If you owe me bread, you damn sure I'm pocket watching. You can't go to the club no more. You can't do no fun shit. You can't take that side chick out or none of that. Ain't no
Ain't no
flexing.
Chinese
Now if
food
you
for
owe me
you,
bread,
B.
no, you better be
Hey,
roughing
Trey,
it if you owe me bread.
that's like rhetorical. When you borrow something from someone, you're not at the leverage of that person. And a lot of people don't see that. So I don't know if that's rhetorical. The person don't see the game in that. Once you extend yourself to ask somebody for something, they can treat you any way they feel until the debt is repaid, good, bad, or whatever. So asking that
Especially
question,
you
that's
better
not,
not ever owe
you
me no
should be
money.
pocket watching because you want your investment back. I've seen people in bad situations because they said these words, I get it to you when I got it.
Yeah, to hell with that. And it's out of love for real, because I'm trying to get you right so you don't have to borrow from me. Not because I don't feel like loaning it, but because you need to be right. So you could probably loan somebody some bread, or you just good with your finances. You know what I'm saying? Because you obviously need help if you gotta ask somebody else. So I'm like, all right, this is something that I'm kind of knowledgeable about. I'll get you straight.
Okay. Let me go ahead and run this clip, man. So let's start to put our minds on the main topic. Why aren't black men held accountable for broken homes? Why aren't black men held accountable for broken homes? Let me play this clip.
If you're easily offended, run now. That's your only trigger warning. 58% of American black women that have children have at least one child by multiple different men. In other words, 58% of black women have two or more baby daddies. Okay. Now, y'all, TikTok has been suppressing my videos a little bit recently. I don't know why, but so I need y'all to like this. I need y'all to comment on it because we need to have this conversation. According to a study that was done by Cassandra Dorius, who's a postdoctorate fellow at the University of Michigan's Institute for Social Research, Mothers with multiple fathers for their children are more likely to be underemployed, to have lower incomes, and to be less educated. According to the study, families with multiple fathers are stressed out, with issues often arising about how to consistently raise a child in different households. I got a question, because I've heard this used about the fact that 59% of black women that have kids have 2 or more baby daddies. I've heard this used by the pundits on podcasts. I've heard this used by the manosphere. I've heard this used by a lot of men that want to just bash the out of women. So it's like, okay, I accept your premise, but here's the thing. Typically, this study does not take into account the amount of women that were married before they had kids or then got divorced and got remarried and had children. This study doesn't bring that up. It doesn't take that into account. But what I want to know from the men is this. Typically speaking, because I've had conversations with thousands of women at this point, they all say, especially the ones that have multiple children by different men, they say, after my first marriage ended, I became celibate. I said, I'm going to hold out. I'm not going to do this. I'm going to wait to have sex again, that kind of thing. The men they were encountering that were black men were saying, well, you already somebody's mama. Why I got to wait to get the draws? Why I got to wait to clap the cheeks? Why I got to wait to get the... And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, I'm like, oh, you know what? You're right. You're absolutely right. Before we sit up here and try to damn and condemn women for having more than one child out of wedlock. Now, granted, there are a large percentage, a growing percentage of women that want children without getting married, to which I say, y'all know my opinion on that. I think that's stupid. I think that's stupid. I'm always think that's stupid. But to the men that want to bash women, that try to be celibate afterwards, this still proves to me men have no problem sleeping with and reproducing with women that they supposedly deem the unworthies, the undesirables, because I thought single mamas I thought they were the untouchables. I thought they were the undesirables. So why is it that women that have children, both in and out of wedlock, with one man already, still get sexual access from these supposed high value kings of the earth? Like, the math doesn't math to me. And as I investigate this further, I'm really starting to think you could either use this to bash women, or you could use this to say men are so hypersexual in this world today that they don't really give a about no legacy. They don't give a about having multiple children in one household that have been fathered by multiple different men. They don't give a about being statistics. They don't. Because if they did, this number of women that have children by more than one man would be drastically lower than what it currently is. So y'all tell me if I'm right, wrong, or indifferent. If you've made it this far, please let me know you made it this far. Put a church down there in the comments if you got this far. Because my thing is this: if men are supposed to be the leaders of society, if we're supposed to be the head honchos, we're the patriarchs, right? We lead society. Why are we leading in creating broken houses and in being active participants in the perpetuation of broken houses? Because the math ain't mathing. Church.
All right, man. Let's go and get into it. He did make a few points. I just want to get you guys take on this, because he mentioned women. How do you guys feel about women that were married and they had kids before they were married and then they got divorced? Are these women any different from just women just recklessly having kids? Because so often, even on these panels, we see where a woman says they have kids and they're not married, and then they get put into this box. But are you gentlemen giving grace to women that did it the right way, right? They married, had the children, something happened, they got divorced, and now they're choosing to keep their legs closed for the next man?
What's the realist? Like, you can't really gauge that, because where are these women that are keeping their legs closed for the next man? First off. Secondly, we do know that most women look at the same type of men. You dig what I'm saying? It's the same percentage of men that are able to have sex with these women, right? So Buddy went off on all this tangent and all that. I put him in that same category. You know what I'm saying? He's pandering. You know what I'm saying? If you look at the numbers, he's just pandering. Like, bro, you got like just stop with that. You know what I mean? You can't sit here and try and say that they're not being held accountable. One thing about it is men also don't have the ability to tell a woman you're getting a deletion. You're going to delete that child, right? Regardless if a man wants a child or not, he has no say in it. So that's going to look much worse on men when they do decide, oh, I'm having it anyway. So you're eliminated. You don't have those same choices. If the numbers were even, who's creating more broken homes? The reason why they're not creating even more broken homes is because they have the opportunity to delete it regardless. You feel me? So let's stop with that. I feel like it's a stupid conversation. Buddy was all over the place making all these points. Bro, go find a woman. You know what I'm saying? And stop plucking your eyebrows. Like, come on, man. I'm cool.
Don't do that to him. He be on the show, bro. He be on the show.
I tell him, come call in. I tell him the same thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I damn near agree with him, honestly. If for a dude to even tell a female, oh well, you know, you already a mama, woo woo woo, to me that's some weak ass shit. If you know what I'm saying, if you got to say that. But I think that if yeah, I damn near agree with what he was saying, man. If I forget, I think it was Sweeney that said, or Louise that recently said how most black men, their standards are lower than what it used to be. And honestly, I agree with that, because a lot of chicks that shouldn't be mothers are mothers. Somebody cracked them raw, you know what I'm saying, nutted in them and gave them a baby, and there was no way, no reason why they should be a parent, but yet somebody did it. So I think that what he was saying does hold some truth for sure.
Okay. How you feeling about it, Trev?
All right. So I definitely agree with what a lot of what Law said. As far as that situation is concerned, it's very easy to fall into that category of what they consider an F boy, right? And shit, I'm very familiar with how to present myself in that situation. This goes back to what I usually talk about, how women will purpose you. These dudes who they choose, and it's not a high percentage of men that are doing that. Particularly black men are not just impregnating a bunch of women. That's not, most of us aren't that. Most of us are not doing that. But there is a small percentage that is a large minority, because they are out here doing what it do. But they specialists at that. And you know, like Homeboy was up here a couple weeks ago, he just didn't really give a damn about the consequences. He was just selling his wild oats. He didn't give a damn. And there's a lot of dudes like that that'll just continue to impregnate women. So you can't really throw this on the majority of men. There are a select few of men who are irresponsible and just scumbags. Because even if you're going to be out here doing what it do, I'm not against that. But you should protect yourself if you don't want to be in that child's life. And women have to do different situations. We're talking like a lot of these women are getting married first and then, you know, keeping their legs closed. That's not how it goes. A lot of these women who were pregnant by multiple men, they weren't married. That's not the majority. There's women who are also specialists at this, specialists at being baby mothers. Like that's their expertise, is being baby mothers by a bunch of different dudes, and they don't learn their lesson, and they just want kids, and they'll get with a dude who they know doesn't really show them that type of interest for a long-term situation, but because they were attracted to that dude, they let him hit raw, and they think it's cute for a man to shoot the club up. And when they get pregnant, they're like, okay, maybe this will keep him around. Like I think I could be the special one that is going to change his damn mind and make him no longer an F boy and just want to live happily ever after with me. And then it's rinse and repeat. And that doesn't make sense to me. People have to be more responsible for that. And again, the men who are doing it, stop it. You're scumbags. Stop creating broken homes, right? The hell with y'all, because y'all making us all look crazy out here. So stop that shit. But women, you have to protect yourselves, because it's the onus is on you, because you have to live with that. A lot of these men are escaping, and some of them don't even give a damn about child support. They ain't got no legit job, and you can only take a certain percentage out. So he could impregnate a whole bunch of women, and it's the same bread coming out, right? If you have 20 children, you're paying pretty much the same as if you had 10. It doesn't really matter because they only allowed to take out a certain portion from your check. And then it just gets divided and divided and divided, and you get less and less. And you're not even taking that into account. And then you got to think about the time he has to divide for his availability for his children in several households, which is nonsense. So women, just protect yourselves. If you like a dude and you want to smash, that's your business. Don't let him shoot the club up, please. Let him throw that jammy on. He's still gonna hit, trust me, because he won it. He gonna hit anyway. You don't have to go raw with all. You don't have to. We just have to be more responsible as adults, period. But again, I think it's more women who are falling victim to it than the dudes that are out here just making a mess of things. I'll leave
But
it
Hey,
there for
Trev,
you.
but Trev,
hold on,
though,
hold on. I want Trev to answer this question real quick. Do men, this is from Clay 2026, 499. Do men not have just as much choice when it comes to safe sex and whom they choose to have sex with?
Absolutely, they have as much choice. But again, most of us are responsible. We have that loud minority that go ahead and shoot the club up. And like I said, I condemn them. They should go to hell, right? They're making us look bad and F y'all. For real. That's how I feel about it. You're a bunch of idiots for impregnating women who you don't want to be with. Stop doing that shit. It's irresponsible. And you're making us all look like shit. So fuck y'all. How about it? That's how I feel about that. Those particular men who are behaving like that are assholes. And that is something that I would absolutely hold a man accountable for not taking care of his children. And you should be trying to make an honest woman out of her. Anybody who you impregnate, like the shotgun wedding thing is done right now. We don't even do that. And I understand why you wouldn't, but you should be preemptive about it. You should be looking like, okay, if I'm going to shoot the club up and somebody, there's so many things you did wrong for you to go raw, for you to not pull out, for you to like, there's so many things you just did wrong. Like for you to do that. People don't get pregnant by mistake. Everybody say it was an accident, but it's not by mistake. You did that shit on purpose because you knew how people get pregnant. We all know how that works. We know as children that it's no longer the stork. The stork is not dropping off babies. You had to go bust somewhere for you to have a baby. So you ain't do that shit by mistake. So stop acting like it. It didn't happen by mistake. Unless you were violated, it wasn't no mistake on your part. So we just gonna have to really hold ourselves accountable and stop creating broken families.
Go ahead, Viz.
yeah, no, I was just gonna say, if the numbers are what they are for broken homes, then those women are sleeping with some men. You know what I'm saying? It has to be whatever percentage of men that they're sleeping with. So I definitely agree with what you're saying. Yet at the same time, I mean, realistically, there are a lot of dudes that's out here that's just plain reckless, especially in this day and age of where where we got OnlyFans and Twitter and motherfuckers cracking shit raw, like it's nothing. STDs is through the roof. What I think in Atlanta, it was some crazy number of cases out there. They having unprotected sex with somebody. So I 100% agree with what you're saying, but I do think that we do need to hold men more accountable with that. Because again, even if she is a skeezer, it's the fact that you hitting her raw, you know what I'm saying? Or you telling her whatever game to tell her, you know what I'm saying, to get her to stick around or to think that she the main one, the wifey, whatever, it's just bogus.
So Viz, do you think I didn't hold men accountable just now?
No, I'm not saying that you didn't, but
Okay.
I do feel like it was the highlight was more so towards women. I mean, we tell women all the time, yeah, y'all do hold the key to it. But it's the fact that niggas are shooting up the club raw. You know what I'm saying? Knowing that they not trying to be around or stick around with the broad.
Yeah. Bro, but we gotta come on, man. Listen, let's keep it real. There is no way a woman can essentially you can't have unprotected sex with a woman unless she allows it, knowing that the burden is going to be on her. If I decide to disappear tomorrow, there's nothing she can do about it. So she needs to take that step to make sure she's protected against that if that's not what she wants. Because a man can disappear tomorrow. Not
But-
only me,
but you
this
putting
is
it-
something that I teach to my daughters, right? You're not
You
gonna
putting
come
it
back
on the
and say,
woman,
well,
though, bro.
you say what?
I said that's putting it on the woman, though.
That's because it is.
Well, no, I agree.
Look,
It is
look.
on the woman, but it's still at the end of the day, even if dude, you know what I'm saying, even if he don't want a seed out of her, you know what I'm saying, at least at the minimum, wrap up just so that you know that she ain't finna burn you. You know what I'm saying? So
Well,
just going
yeah.
into it raw, period. Especially if it ain't your main, that's being negligent with your joint.
Right, but what I'm saying is, even if you're not thinking of the potential negligence of a STD, you can still run as a man, right? The man doesn't have to be there. He can leave the woman holding the bag at any given time.
What?
So that way, if you are not protecting yourself, you can be stuck with that regardless. He could lie to you. He could play like he's the best man in the world, tell you all those good things, and then get you pregnant and disappear. That's why you should protect yourself unless you are sure this is something that is going to be profitable, not only profitable, but like right for both of you in building the family. Like I said, I tell my daughters, you're not going to come back and tell me, oh, he said he was on the pill. You see how stupid that sounds? You know what I'm saying? If he won't wrap up, then there's nothing going on. You know what I'm saying? If the man will not practice safe sex, then just don't give him none. All you have to do is say yes. A man has to work to get it. All you have to do is simply say okay as a woman. You know what I'm saying? So
That's
hold
fair, but come
that.
on, Law. We all know as men on this panel, you know what I'm saying? We done been at one point in time, we was with a chick, and you know, you done hit her a couple times raw, and it's like, we said, fuck it, I'm gonna slide this off, you know what I'm saying? After a couple strokes, or you know what I'm saying, no, you know what, I done hit it a couple times, you know, I think she's safe, so I'm gonna just go into a raw dog this time. You know, realistically, that shit happened, bro. But it's still being negligent with with your joint.
It's something that needs to be studied, because I like that example you gave about you hit it a couple times, ain't nothing happened when you had the condom on, so you want to take the condom off because nothing happened when you had the condom on.
Yeah, that's real, bro.
It is, but that shit, it's kind of crazy when you think about it. Like everybody did this shit, I think, before at one point or another. But that shit crazy. It's like, damn, she ain't got nothing because I didn't get nothing by being protected.
You know what I'm saying?
Bag you put yourself in.
So that's real. So just keeping it a buck. I mean, and again, I get it 100%. Yeah, absolutely. The woman has to protect herself for sure. But I think the focus, especially with this being King's Talk, is that men protect yourself at all times, because regardless if she say that she on the pill or you think that she clean, whatever the case may be, we see it happen constantly where a motherfucker get burnt, or he'll end up knocking her up. She don't want to delete the baby. Now you stuck with the baby, and now you caught up in this position. And at the end of the day, it was because you didn't wrap the motherfucker up. So at that point, all you can do is just blame yourself.
So I look, when I speak to young men or men, period, I speak to them like I'm speaking to my son or my nephew or any of his cousins or my son's teammates. Look here, man. Fuck that kid. You ain't got to worry about that kid, because that kid's gonna eventually grow up and move on. But that STD might stay with you for the rest of your goddamn life. So why are you going in there naked head? I don't understand. The pull-out game doesn't always work for you, because it's a thing called ejaculation, pre-cum ejaculation. All that shit's real. So, dog, if every time you take a chance, you going up in a woman, you taking on a chance of getting these heifers pregnant. I know. I understand. She look good. Don't mean she clean. Don't mean you ain't the first or the only one she gave on the first night. I promise you that. So make sure you go in there with a goddamn raincoat on there. So and that's how I speak to my son. So I wouldn't tell no other man the same thing. I'm not putting my faith into a woman like that. Why would I do that? Why would I ever put my faith into one of these heifers, knowing they the way they move and operate? They looking at it to get me as a meal ticket. I mean, when I was in college, I thought like it. I moved like it. I taught my son like it. Don't accept a condom from a woman. Why would you ever accept a rubber from a woman? We don't know her intentions. So why would I do that? I wouldn't. And just like I teach my son and I taught his teammates and my nephew, don't do that. That's not how we operate. We don't just trust because she say, I'm on a pill. Bullshit. That could be all a goddamn lie because she's looking for a goddamn meal ticket. Or maybe she's already pregnant, but she's looking for to put somebody to child on because she don't really know who the daddy is. I'm not going to put my son in that situation, and I wouldn't put nobody else's son in that situation. Like I said, it's not just them kids we got to worry about. Like I said, it's them STDs. That shit was going to stick with your ass for the rest of your goddamn life. Or it could take your life. I'll leave it there.
All right. Go ahead, Sherm. How you feeling about this, brother? You know, mute just.
Man, honestly, bro, I don't even really recall what the guy was talking about because he was kind of all over the place. But one thing that did come to my mind was that a lot of people in America are in the class system, right? And so when we talk about black people, what type of black people are we talking about? Because we're not a monolith, you know, like a lot of us are on different levels. Like we can't say that just because we're all black men, we could get together on this panel and talk about King Talk. You know what I'm saying? So it's like some of the people that might be lower class are making the people like us, which are of a higher class, look bad. And I really don't subscribe to that at all, bro. Because it's like saying more white people are on welfare than black people. Okay, cool. That might be a statistic, but also more white people are own more assets and they own more wealth than black people. You know what I'm saying? So with me, I really don't trust statistics because I don't believe that you sat there and interviewed every black woman in America to even come up with that statistic anyway. You know what I'm saying? They probably took a small group of people, asked them questions. Okay, it must be this. But who are those people? Where are they at? You know, what are you talking about? Because the majority of black people I see these days, I mean, I do see a lot of families. I do see a lot of involved fathers, especially my homeboys. You know what I mean? So even though they might be single mothers, I mean, they're single fathers. They're all playing their part. I see single fathers in white neighborhoods and all of that anyway. You know what I'm saying? So me personally, I don't really like even getting into that or even, you know, bothering with even talking about that. But also, I will always say this: men are responsible because they carry the seed. You know, period, point blank. You know what I'm saying? Like you have the live sperm. Like we have beings that are being created in us that swim to an egg. The egg is just sitting there chilling. You know what I'm saying? So if you're not protective over your seed, then you're very irresponsible. I don't care if, you know, whatever. And then for me, I always looked at it like this. Even when I did slip up and a condom broke, and I was just like, when I was 17 or a teenager or whatever, and, you know, it happened, you know what I'm saying, inside of the woman, and I was fucking devastated. I was so devastated, man. I was like, I really thought about committing suicide. Like, man, this broad cannot say that she got a baby by me. There's no fucking way. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was not cute, terrible. I'm talking about I was fucked up because at the end of the day, I was looking at it like no matter what, I'm gonna be there for my seed and I'm gonna be responsible. And this woman is gonna forever be able to say that she has my baby. And that is a lot for me personally as a man. And we have to start taking pride in ourselves and in our seed and in our legacy. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not like, oh man, she just had a baby. It's like, nah, bro, that is your legacy right there. That is energy that is forever connected to you. And so once we change our mindset about human life, the life that we give, you know what I'm saying? I feel like it's not gonna really ever gonna change because we look at kids like accessories, you know, like, oh, I got a baby. Oh, it's so cute. I'm gonna put things on it and do this and do that. Like, nah, bro, this is a real live human being. You know, that you're bringing into this world. You have to be careful. You know, I was even fucked up sometimes where girls was just like, you know, I want to have a baby with you because you have curly hair. And I'll be like, what the fuck? Like, that's why you would want to have a baby with me? Like, do you know how deep this shit is? You know what I'm saying? It's not just simple. So I never played with that, bro. I always was very, you know, particular of who I even like decided to take that risk with. You know what I mean? And I do have kids by 2 different women, yes, but both of those women have doctorate degrees. So I'm not fucking around. You know what I'm saying?
What?
That's all I'm gonna say.
Go ahead, Kenny.
All the men up on this panel have kids. I'm the only one that don't. If I use myself as a model, I had the opportunity to have children beyond the 2 abortions. I didn't. Because I realized at one point, if I'm not going to be with you, I have to stand for something. I prefer not have children than be with someone that's not in my best interest that I could love forever. So now, as for the responsibility part, both share responsibility. I believe a woman shares more responsibility than the man because she is the incubator of life. As Sherm said, that is actually true. We spark life, but then we're no longer in control of the process that happens after. And we well know this. A woman now has to account for now incubating a seed and also putting her life at risk. Also, when that seed is being conceived, her body is no longer the same. Also, she has the responsibility of understanding it could be 50-50 after this child is conceived that the father will be there or will not be there. Also, if it's a scorned woman, she has the ability to control your life until that child is able to take care of itself. Those are all facts that I put on the table. So the greater responsibility does fall on the woman because now she can affect your life as well as hers. We could go dip dick in any female. She has a life-changing, also a life-threatening thing that she's putting on the table as for the conceiving of a child. But we both have to be responsible. As Hank would say, a lot of men don't take the time to say, you know what? I'm going to let my libido and my urge dictate the moment of being intimate with a woman, not looking at the repercussions. But they say, hey, only 37% of men 18 to 24 are actually having sex. Once you get older, it's probably like half and half. Most women
No,
fall.
it's not half and half. The number thins out. It's the same.
Okay. Thank you for that. But women do hold culpability. We do hold culpability. It's a responsibility of both parties, even though I lean a little bit more to the women. We just got to make better decisions because those are life-altering, lifelong decisions at that point in time.
You said something really interesting that I want to go back to. Lapeef, the video you're talking about that you said you played was the one where I made the statement that 58% of women have multiple baby daddies. That one, right?
Yeah, it was that one.
Okay. So I want something in. I'm almost certain in that video I said that there's 2 ways one could look at this. You could either blame women or hold men accountable. I'm almost certain that I said that. In no way am I trying to say that women have more accountability than men. I don't want that missed. Women don't have. You made a statement that women have more power when they get pregnant. We spark it, they incubate it. If we don't spark it, that's the key. If we don't spark it, they have no power. Women only get the power that they have to control us once we grant it to them. That's the biggest thing in fact, that's the greatest takeaway that I want from that particular video. Women have no power until we grant it to them. So we are overall responsible for the entire situation that we find ourselves in.
That's a good spin. It sounds good, but
Well, it's not a
that's
spin. It's it's the intention of my video. I'm the one that made it. That was the narrative that I wanted out there. It's not a spin. I can't spin my own content, church. I can't do that. I mean, I didn't know I had to spin my own. I didn't know I had to spin my own video, Lapeef. I mean, damn. What is this?
You so
I got to say it. I got to spin my own.
You came up here to be polarizing, sir?
I'm polarizing by myself. I don't have to be anything.
It's funny. It's funny how you came up here, then you start making bruiser type videos like you're the you got a cum laude in relationship studies and such.
No, I don't have a cum laude.
I find that hilarious.
Bruce is a friend of mine. I know him well. He's the one that let me know y'all were watching the video before Lapeef messaged me, church. Bruce is a friend. I don't make his type videos. I've been making these videos since 2020.
How come we only heard about your video?
I've been on Lapeef several times before, brother.
Yeah, I know. You light skin. I've seen you before.
Light skin, 6'3", green eyes, can talk that shit with the best of them.
Nah, I don't need to know. Nah, everybody up here is heterosexual. We don't need all.
Oh, no. I mean, so am I, you know. I believe in Jesus Christ and him crucified. That so I'm very, very much on the straight and narrow path. No pun intended. You dig?
What that mean? I don't seen that the tambourine play in the choirs. What that mean?
I don't play the tambourine.
Good for you.
But getting back to the point I'm making, we have to, it is insane. There were 2 points I wanted raised in that video. It is insane that women can have, that if you're a male, because I've referenced a study, that video came from a study that I was looking at, which was conducted by the University of Michigan in 2011, and it was updated in 2021. If a black man, or any man actually, but in particular the race that was the focus of that study was black men, if any black man has served time in prison, he is 60% likely to father 2 or more children by, multiple women. There is a preference that women show for criminality within the black community, which I want highlighted. That does not remove them from accountability. What it in fact demonstrates is a larger problem that affects our society as a whole, mainly being that we promote en masse in the black community criminality and promiscuity. That was the larger and central point of the video that I was trying to make in order to foster a conversation amongst black men and black women to say we have to get our it was a point made to say, we have to get and keep ourselves in order.
So wait, let me ask you something.
Go ahead.
You use one case study to paint a broad brush. Do you have any others?
Was conducted
wait, hold on, slow down. So did you source it against any other statistics rather than the one that you just pointed out?
Yes, the study now I use that study as a primary source because it was actually referenced by a multiplicity of sources such as Child Trends, the CDC referenced it, the U.S. Department of Labor and Statistics referenced it, and also the study was conducted over a period of 20 years. But all you have to do is look up multiple partner fertility by race, and you will discover that black women.
So you're saying they prefer the criminals within
What I'm saying is that now, I'm not saying that. The data indicates that any male that has ever been in the prison industrial complex has a 60% chance of fathering at least one child by 2 or more different women. I'm not saying that. That's what the data indicated, sir.
So would you agree numbers could be skewed to fit any argument?
What would be the point of skewing those numbers?
Okay, so asking me a question with a question is rude.
I accept the possibility that I accept the premise that it is possible, but I would ask you, what is the net benefit of skewing those numbers? Especially when you look at the concept of multiple source attestation, when multiple sources, not just the study conducted by the University of Michigan, but if you just examine the CDC, look at, not the CDC, but look at U.S. Census data, look at the population of black males within the entirety of the prison industrial complex, and look at the percentage of those men that have children. All you have to do is cross-reference the numbers. So what would be, if I'm lying, I would be easily proven wrong, and so would the study. Also, the study was again conducted
over a period of 12 years, and these women were surveyed at multiple points throughout this 12-year time span. So what the hell would be the point of skewing the numbers?
He got his ass cooked. Okay. He got cooked. So to answer your question, it would make your arguments more solidified as for why you was wearing a tie and doing that whole video. Because if you agree with me at the beginning and said that less than 37% of men actually have sex and the numbers go down, that actually goes against the argument that you're putting together.
That's taking men as a whole. That's taking the entire population of men as a whole. But if
okay,
you listen,
thank you. Let's stop right there.
But again, wait a minute. No.
Means
That's not how that works. Because again, when you look at it by age, okay, understand. You just said numbers can be skewed. Black men ages 15 to 28 have the least amount of children. That percentage, 54% of those men are single and childless. But by the time a black man reaches age 40, after he's achieved his financial peak in life, after he's hit his financial stride, the average amount of children that black men have is 2.4. The average amount of children black women have is 2.1. So by the time a man has reached his financial peak, the sexual marketplace has the numbers evened out for both men and women, sir.
Okay, so you saying from 40 on, where men's libido is down and they're actually having less kids, because you said the numbers fit that the numbers went down from 37%.
They go down for women, slightly up for men, yes.
Okay.
Which is biological clock has a lot to do with that.
So again, you tried to chop down the numbers as for what I said. So if you now go with the smaller demographic, because there are more whites than blacks, that means the number are now smaller. So it would be inflated if you're using it by those stats to make it seem like everybody in the ghetto is knocking up that the fellas
what I'm doing is
having 2 or better kids. Yes.
No, sir. What I'm doing is taking the number. So the number 37% is of all men. But when you do things per capita, which is where the study that I did, per capita means taking. You know what per capita means? It means taking whatever the given number is of a specific subset of a series of data points and only examining that specific subset of data points. The correlation I'm drawing is that 60% of men that have ever been incarcerated. So I'm looking at specifically the number of incarcerated males in the United States, taking that number in and of itself and examining that number as the case study.
Black or white, because you just specified that you were talking about the black community. So now you're saying men.
We're looking at in the study. The study was looking at black men.
Wait, because you didn't make the distinction just now.
In the video, I did.
Okay, just now you didn't make the distinction.
Are we talking about the video?
Men incarcerated. Sir,
Lapeef, I swear to God, we were talking about the video that you
said
that you played.
Men incarcerated. You said felons that was incarcerated. That's why I asked
go back,
black or white, because I was listening to
you. Okay. If you take the numbers, I'm looking in the video that Lapeef played for you guys. I'm looking at the percentage of incarcerated black males, brother. I don't know. I didn't know I had to restate that for you.
No, because I want to be accurate, because you came up here giving correction. So if that's
so now we're accurate.
Okay, wait, hold on. You came up giving me correction. I conceded to it. So you set the playing field for how we're gonna have our conversation.
Okay. Mark, did you speak yet? Okay. You're good.
I agree with the stats that Austin gave, because I would say definitely at least 60% of the homies that I know that went to jail, they definitely got kids.
So Viz, let me ask you a question. Did you vet to make sure that he was telling you the correct thing without just agreeing with him?
I would believe, from my own experience, I can believe that stat without it being screwed for whatever purpose.
So you're going off of feeling again and being hyperbolic rather than
I provided the source material for the study he referenced.
Well, I don't understand how it's feeling if I'm saying that in my experience in life of me knowing multiple people that have went to prison.
That's called eyewitness testimony.
Okay,
actually.
So slow down, Slick. I'm speaking to Viz. So Viz, again, no one is discrediting what you saw in your locale, but does it match the numbers that he's putting up within this conversation?
I mean, it sounds like it, yeah. It
It
sounds like it
sounds
matches
like
it.
All right, I'm gonna play
it
the video
sounds like
one more
it's a
time.
feeling.
I'm gonna play the video one more time.
So, can I ask a question real quick? So when we're saying people black men who were incarcerated, right? Because I think I kind of see where Ken is going with it. Are we trying to say that people who are incarcerated, or that women are attracted to people who are incarcerated, or could it be the fact that men who are incarcerated generally exhibit degenerate behavior, generally are more irresponsible, and that could be the cause of why
It's
they have
I would
more
say it's
pregnancies
both.
versus the
Well, it's
regular
actually,
man?
yeah, it's actually, so to be honest with you guys, it's actually a combination of both of those things.
Yeah.
Yes, men that go to prison, or that have spent a lengthy amount of time in the prison industrial system, uh, exhibit a high amount of dysfunctional behavior. It is also demonstrably true that women of any society, but in particular in Black American society, exhibit a attraction to did what we would term degenerate male
Uh,
behavior. That's and
uh,
this is in large part, and this is in large part due to the fact that many women have a displaced, fractured image of genuine masculinity. The overwhelming majority of our Black sisters do not grow up in households with a mom and dad that are married. They have to piece together what manhood is from a multiplicity of different sources, and oftentimes the men that they're around are not the best quality or best caliber men to teach them what a good man is, and so they create and have this fractured mindset of masculinity, and they then reward what is actually toxic behavior by reproducing with it. This is a multivariate thing that is being discussed that can't really be confined to what I think that video might have been a couple minutes long, or maybe 2 or 3 minutes, I think at the most. This is a multivariate analysis problem.
Which group of women do you think have intact sense of masculinity?
You want my honestly, Asian American women, Indian American women, white women, the women that grow up with a higher rate of biologically married parents in the house reaching age 18, which is damn near every other race on the planet has it at a vastly higher rate besides Black women. And again, that's not me talking, that's just the numbers speaking.
Because I would
You
say
go across this, you can go
most of
across
those
the
women do
oceans, you
have
can look across. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say most of those women are attracted to, what is it, the rogue? Is that the archetype? Was it the rogue and the
But
rebel?
within our culture, yeah, the rogue archetype, yeah, within our culture, yes. Now in
But
other cultures,
I think it exists outside of our culture, though. I think we can.
it does, but not at the same, nowhere near at the same rates. Every
I
other
think the rates are
race
similar.
within the confines of the United States of America, at least, every other race has a vastly high, a much higher marriage rate, and a much higher rate of the appearance of nuclear families than the Black community in specificity. The peak of the the peak of the Black nuclear family died in 1980. No, it began to die in 1967 or 1965, and it really has fell down ever since drastically. We have now, the data shows that 68.4% of all Black families are led by a single parent, male or female.
So what's the correction that you came up to make? You were up at the podium. So what's the fix?
The fix is to follow the Bible. The fix is to take the Bible, the King James Bible. If you don't want to believe it, fine. Take the book of Proverbs, read it from start to finish, and apply that to your life.
You
Then
saw what you
read.
just did?
Well, you asked me a question. Let me finish the answer.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Take the Bible and use it as, I have never seen, if someone applied the principles given in Proverbs, if someone applies the principles given in the book of Psalms, I've never seen it impact someone's life negatively. I've only seen positive results come out of it. If you truly apply those principles, whether you're a Christian or not, the net impact on your life is outstanding.
So if I use the King James Bible and I present it to young brothers that's wayward, that will cure all their ills.
If they followed what was written and what I told you to read, yes.
Are you drunk? You know that book was rewritten by 47 scholars under a king that put tithing in so he can
I
get
know
more
that all
money
King
from the
James did
people?
was gather the smartest men at the time, and
47,
in
okay,
particular, the best
47
one
to
of them,
50.
that
Oh,
was there at the.
40. Wait, blow, light skin. Hold on. 47 to 50 of
Why are you
of
fixated on
white
the shade of my
scholars.
skin, brother?
Okay, wait.
Why
You
are
are
you
light skinned.
fixated on the shade of my
Wait.
skin?
You are light
You
skinned.
want to be light
you
skinned,
can
brother? Is
call me
that what
dark
it is?
skinned.
Because you didn't call me light skinned like 4 times.
Okay, Austin. I apologize.
There we
So
go. There you go.
okay,
There you go.
so here we go. 47 to 50 are white scholars to tell us what we are. And
What do you
depict
mean
and
tell us what the hell are you
the
talking
same
about?
people that put tithing in that Bible and said that's the purest form. How do you refix something if the risen Jesus didn't give you permission to do it?
What do you mean he didn't give us permission? He said, "Go." He
Okay,
said, "Go ye therefore and teach all nations,
wait,
baptize." Wait a minute. Hold
He
on.
did not
You say,
say
"Wait a
that to
minute."
those
Hold on.
40.
You want to
Wait.
listen?
Slow down,
I'm
Slick.
brother. I'm
They
talking
were
slow. I think you
commissioned
just can't
by,
keep
wait,
up.
slow down, Slick. Jesus didn't do that. King James did that. He
King
commissioned
James did what?
47 to 50 scholars to rewrite a Bible to fit a certain
Did they
narrative.
rewrite? Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Because now this is how you know you don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Okay,
King
tell
James
me.
never rewrote. He never rewrote the Bible. What he did was gather the smartest men around at the time, such as Erasmus and other scholars, to transliterate the Geneva Bible, which was written in Old English, into the first modern English Bible. All they
Okay,
did was take the Textus Receptus, which is where they got the book from, and they compared the Textus Receptus and the Dead Sea Scrolls and transliterated those into English from Koine Greek and from the original Hebrew language.
okay.
This is a common myth that is often
He
spewed out
speaks
by
very
people
well.
that have no. If you don't have the capacity to let me finish, then you can't learn anything.
There's nothing that you can teach me if you try to justify that book.
Well, I'm not justifying anything. All I'm doing is telling you the actual process that you're trying to misquote.
No,
Okay, King James did
I
not
got drawers
rewrite.
older than
He
you.
did not rewrite. Listen
I
to me.
grew up in the church. I'm a liberal
Listen.
thinker. The oldest Bible
You
was
can
found in
be, sir.
Ethiopia. It
Sir,
does not
hey,
match that.
hey, Kenny. Yes, it does. The King James
It was
matches. The
taken
King James matches
from the
word for word,
Vedas of
minus the. Excuse
Hinduism.
me.
The Bible was that.
Okay.
Stop it. You're not
Sir,
John
you're
Henry
talking to.
Clark.
Hey.
I already know what the Bible is.
Okay,
It's a
you
tool. It's
listen,
a
Kenny.
tool.
That sounds fantastic. I'm
That
glad you
Bible
think
is
you.
a tool to
I'm
keep
glad you
people
think you
under
know
the
everything.
rules so
That's
you could
beautiful.
suck
But you
money
are
out of it.
speaking.
So wait.
I'll
Was
let you finish. Go ahead.
tithing in the King James Bible before King James or after?
Okay. Are you finished now? May I
I
respond, or are
just
you going to
asked
interrupt
one
me like a
question.
child?
Was giving money to the king after or before he altered it? Because
Okay.
I know if the book is
Okay.
pure,
What are you
it does not need
talking
to be
about?
changed, or no one to ever
You are
refix
speaking
it.
with so much
That
fire
book
and
is a
emotion and passion. I
remix.
love it, but I can't really address anything you're saying
No,
because
you can't. You can't.
you're
Because
every
they
time I
used to
try to
kill
speak, you're
people. That's what
interrupting me.
they call the
You're it's quite.
Crusaders. The Christians,
Hold on,
them same
hold
Christians that used to
on.
push
Can you gotta
that
let him
book.
finish? Can you gotta let him finish?
Well, this is so. Here's the thing: you're speaking to a former atheist that attempted to deconstruct the Bible. I'm only a Christian because the Bible's evidentially true. So everything that you're saying to me, I've already addressed it personally, and I can easily show you all of the sources and the evidence to refute the bullshit you're trying to spew. God forgive me, but I mean, I don't want to. I didn't come up here to have a religious discussion. I mean, we can turn it into that if the people's okay with it. I came here to just state facts about my video and call it a day. What I would have you do, actually, though, to address the concerns you brought up about tithing.
Don't, because I'm not
Yeah,
going to
Oh
do it.
let him
God,
finish,
Lapeef, he's
Kenny.
so
Let him
sensitive on the
finish.
Because
panel this evening.
here's the thing, real quick.
Kenny,
If
let
I
him
was
finish,
stand
bro.
here,
Damn.
if I was to come to
Hold
terms
on,
with what you,
hold on.
if I
Can you
was to
gotta let him
come to
finish?
terms,
No,
Can
it's fine, Lapeef.
real
Seriously,
quick,
it's fine.
Real quick, JR. If I was to come to terms with what you say is in that Bible, that means I'm supposed to reject every other religion on this earth.
Sir, I think
Because
okay
it
then.
said if
In the
I were,
statement that I
I'm gonna
made,
just
Kenny,
use this real quick.
in the
They
statement
said
that I
if you
made, I didn't
worship
ask
any
you,
other God, what does the
Kenny.
Bible say? That
Hey,
Bible.
Kenny, let
If
me
you
ask you,
worship
Kenny.
any other God or idol, what are you?
Okay, Kenny, I'm gonna say this to you real
Please
nicely and real
answer that.
slowly.
Just answer that, and I'll
Kenny,
mute.
you're running. I need you to walk with me. Okay,
Wait.
walk
I'm
with me.
not.
What I
No, I'm
told you
not
was,
running.
Kenny,
Answer that question.
what I told you was this. Kenny, you want a gotcha moment, you're not gonna get it. What I told you to do was
You're
this.
not
You
gonna
asked me
answer
what the
that question,
solution
are
was.
you?
Man,
Kenny,
just let
you
him
asked me a
finish, man.
question. You
Damn.
said, what is the fix? Your
Still,
initial question,
you don't know it.
Kenny, your initial question was, what is the fix? I told you the fix is as follows. Whether you believe in the Bible or not, take the book of Proverbs, Read it from cover to cover and apply those principles to your life. Then I want you to read Ecclesiastes and apply those principles to your life. I did
Yo, my
not say you
guy.
had to believe it. I did not say you had to believe in God. But what I said was if you take those two things that I tell you, read those books, and apply the principles written in those two books to your life, it can only bring you a net positive amount of results. Nowhere in
Okay,
there did I
so
say you had to reject other
whoa,
religions.
whoa,
Kenny, if you're not going to let me finish.
If you nah, you did, but you're trying to do a run on. If you have the knowledge of Dr. John Henry Clark, I would sit here and listen. When he told me,
Dr. John Henry Clark is the same man that denied Jesus Christ as God. I don't like John Henry Clark. I debated his protege. I debated his protege and cooked him. You know who? Hey,
let me get it off. So when he
so now
said,
extend to you the same courtesy you couldn't show me. I can do that. That's very
no,
Christian
because
of me.
you're
Go ahead.
long-winded. You stopped at a sentence. So when John Henry Clark said that book was filled with folklore and some truisms, and I watched and studied what he did, you can't tell me nothing about no King James Bible.
So you want me to trust John Henry Clark, who is the same man that tried to make the claim that we have a closer relationship to the sun god Horus in his own personal writings than we do to the God of Christianity? You want me to trust John Henry Clark, who is the same man that I personally debated his protege and beat his ass in a one-on-one debate on Clubhouse 2 years ago? You want me to trust John Henry Clark when you don't even know enough about what you speaking on to be talking this educated, brother? It sounds like bullshit.
Kenny, let me jump in this just to interject a little
Let's
bit.
kind of get back on the topic, though. I know we're going kind of like the biblical route, man.
Let me say this real quick, though. So realistically, the King James version, if I'm gonna just say this real quick, and then we can move on. The King James
always real quick.
I'll let them go. So I'm just adding a little clarity to it. So realistically, the King James version 100% during that time was edited to an extent to fit political views that was going on during that time. If you do the research, let me finish, Kenny. Let me finish, Kenny.
I'm sorry.
So if you do the research, that is 100% true. Although, let me finish.
You know what you just said?
Kenny, let me finish so we can move on.
He said, JR, let me get him.
So, however, that does not change the values of what the Bible speaks on. When they talk about tithing, when they speak on that is about sowing and reaping. That's about sowing into giving so that you are able to receive. That's what tithing is about in the Bible.
You can't tell me nothing about no Bible.
All right, so let me get Shan. Shan, you trying to speak on any of this, man? You know, why aren't black men held accountable for broken homes?
Man, I'm halfway through, but I'll be damned if I was gonna go 3 weeks without seeing y'all, brother. I've been traveling all day. I just landed in Texas, so I just took a shot to try to come in. I'm glad you guys are still here, but I don't even know the context. I see Kenny in here.
I'm going to play the video one more time for you.
Kenny in the kitchen cooking. We got Dr. Julio in the kitchen cooking. Everybody arguing about the ingredients.
Here we go. Yeah.
If you're easily offended, run now. That's your only trigger warning. 58% of American black women that have children have at least one child by multiple different men. In other words, 58% of black women have 2 or more baby daddies. Okay. Now, y'all, TikTok has been suppressing my videos a little bit recently. I don't know why, but so I need y'all to like this. I need y'all to comment on it because we need to have this conversation. According to a study that was done by Cassandra Dorius, who's a postdoctorate fellow at the University of Michigan's Institute for Social Research, mothers with multiple fathers for their children are more likely to be underemployed, to have lower incomes, and to be less educated. According to the study, families with multiple fathers are stressed out with issues often arising about how to consistently raise a child in different households. I got a question, because I've heard this used about the fact that 59% of black women that have kids have 2 or more baby daddies. I've heard this used by the pundits on podcasts. I've heard this used by the manosphere. I've heard this used by a lot of men that want to just bash the out of women. So it's like, okay, I accept your premise, but here's the thing. Typically, this study does not take into account the amount of women that were married before they had kids or then got divorced and got remarried and had children. This study doesn't bring that up. It doesn't take that into account. But what I want to know from the men is this. typically speaking, because I've had conversations with thousands of women at this point, they all say, especially the ones that have multiple children by different men, they say, after my first marriage ended, I became celibate. I said, I'm going to hold out. I'm not going to do this. I'm going to wait to have sex again, that kind of thing. The men they were encountering that were black men were saying, well, you already somebody's mama. Why I got to wait to get the draws? Why I got to wait to clap the cheeks? Why I got to wait to get the... And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, I'm like, oh, you know what? You're right. You're absolutely right. Before we sit up here and try to damn and condemn women for having more than one child out of wedlock. Now, granted, there are a large percentage, a growing percentage of women that want children without getting married, to which I say, y'all know my opinion on that. I think that's stupid. I think that's stupid. I'm always think that's stupid. But to the men that want to bash women, that try to be celibate afterwards, this still proves to me men have no problem sleeping with and reproducing with women that they supposedly deem the unworthies, the undesirables, because I thought single mamas I thought they were the untouchables. I thought they were the undesirables. So why is it that women that have children, both in and out of wedlock, with one man already, still get sexual access from these supposed high value kings of the earth? Like, the math doesn't math to me. And as I investigate this further, I'm really starting to think you could either use this to bash women, or you could use this to say men are so hypersexual in this world today that they don't really give a about no legacy. They don't give a about having multiple children in one household that have been fathered by multiple different men. They don't give a about being statistics. They don't. Because if they did, this number of women that have children by more than one man would be drastically lower than what it currently is. So y'all tell me if I'm right, wrong, or indifferent. If you've made it this far, please let me know you made it this far. Put a church down there in the comments if you got this far. Because my thing is this: if men are supposed to be the leaders of society, if we're supposed to be the head honchos, we're the patriarchs, right? We lead society. Why are we leading in creating broken houses and in being active participants in the perpetuation of broken houses? Because the math ain't mathing.
Okay, so I think I got an answer for that. So I think where it got conflated is, I agree with you that men typically don't care about sexual access, how they get their sexual access. That kind of is in tune with what the manosphere does say when they talk about single mothers just being for recreational use. In that context, I think what the discrepancy is, I think a lot of men do care about especially if it's their first child, fathering it with someone who does not have kids. I don't know if you have the numbers for how many of those women have how many of those women have children by the same man. We had a guy come on the other day that had 18 kids. So he would overcompensate for the amount of men that would be impregnating women to make that argument. You understand?
No, I get that.
Okay.
But my point is, my entire point is this: if these men really didn't care about if they really didn't want to have children with single mothers, then these women would not have 2 or more children by multiple men still. That was my point. The point is, before we bash women, like someone said in the comments, as men, just take a look at yourself first.
Yeah, so I agree with you that we shouldn't just be bashing women. That's
all I mean. That's all.
That's not where I'm coming from. I was just saying, if we was to dispute those numbers, one guy could be, hypothetically, right? One guy could potentially be responsible for every single mother having a second baby in the city, because we can 2, 3 babies, 4 babies a day, because we not.
Yeah, but that don't really. But in the real world, that don't happen. You have only. I think in that study, only 20. I want to say only 20, or it was either 20 or 28. I have to find it, but I think only 20 or 28% of men had all of their children with one woman. In the study that was pulled by the university, that was conducted, by the University of Michigan, which is where the inspiration for that video came from, because we have to get out of this lie that single mothers really are just for recreational use, because recreation means recreation. It don't mean creating a family. It don't mean creating that's not what it means. Recreational use means we clapping cheeks and sliding, not standing around.
That doesn't change if she's gonna get pregnant or not. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean that's not gonna change if she keeps it or not. As a man, you don't even
Men
have
control
the decision.
pregnancy.
Hold on. You don't even have the decision to decide on if she's going to do that or not. That is
Yeah, you do.
recreation. And
Yeah,
then
you do.
how?
You do have the
How?
choice.
You can't. No, you can't tell her she's
All
going to
you
have
gotta
that child
do, all you
regardless.
have to
It's her
do
choice,
is
right?
not bust up
It's her
inside
body,
of.
her choice. So you don't have an opportunity
No.
to even
You
decide on that. You're
It's
going
her
to
body, her
what
choice,
I'm
but you get to decide where you plant your seed. If you don't want her to
and
be
what
to
I'm
even have a
saying is
chance to be a mama,
recreational
then do
use.
one of two
When we
things.
say
If you don't want this woman to be a
when
mother,
we say
wrap that
recreational
up,
use, what we're
or it,
referring to is that it's not somebody that is going to become a wife. It's not somebody that is going to be taken seriously. And a lot of times that's because she already has a baby daddy or two. And that's why we say those women are usually recreational use.
but
Because
my
you
point
didn't marry
is,
one of those two brothers, why you gonna marry me?
but
I'm
my
not
point
taking
Bilal,
is
care of
this.
those
Bilal,
kids.
Bilal, even in that example, right? It's
Mhm.
still pertinent on us that we make sure that we don't bust in a woman we don't want to have a
That's
kid
all I'm
with.
saying. Literally,
That's what I'm
like
saying.
this
I know
this
you agree with
idea,
that too.
this
You agree with
this
that
Right.
too.
idea
But
that women
but
have
you
all of
also
the
got to remember
power. No.
exactly,
This
but they're
idea that women
also
have all of the
they're also
power
picking the
is
same top 25, 30% of men. There's a whole large percent of men that don't get none at all. Right?
that's
They're
not
not
true.
being looked at
As
because
men
they're
get older, that's not
that is
true. That's
that is
not true.
absolutely true.
No, it is
Listen, man,
not.
listen.
If
I
you look
talk
at
to
the
plenty
if
of women every
again,
day.
going back to my original point, if you look
You
at the
contradicting
you look at
yourself.
the amount of men by the time they reach age 40, again, look this up. This is no bullshit. Look up right now. By the time a black man reaches age 40, how many children does he have? That number is between 2.4 and 2.6. You look at the same number. By age 40, how many children do women have? The number is between 2.2 and 2.1.
Yeah,
So
but
by the time
also
a black
those are
man has reached his financial peak, he has around the same number of kids as a black woman of the same age. So
yeah,
that
but
is
But
Austin,
that's
bullshit.
not the argument. The argument
those
is
aren't those
what
men
Yeah,
aren't
percentage
taking
I
but
care of
mean,
what
their
but
those
people are
what
having
those
all their
does
kids before 40 anyway.
right. It's
So like,
nobody
My
after that
point,
really
the
having
point I'm
kids.
making
So
is all of what you're saying about women having the power and women, my body, my choice. They don't get they don't get the ability to say my body, my choice if you just don't bust inside of them.
but that's not the again, these same women that are having children, multiple children by different men. What I'm saying is those different men are still the same 30% of men. There's a large percentage of men that get
20.
no ass.
In no way
Period.
does that
They
refute
don't
the
have
truth
an
of my statement.
opportunity.
None of these women would be
Listen,
moms if
what
if
I'm
the men
saying
didn't
is
bust
the
them.
majority, but again, like you was telling Kenny to let you finish, you're gonna do me the same solid, right? What I'm saying is there's a large percentage, which goes back to the picking. Who are these women choosing to have sex with? Right? It's the same. What's the 60% of incarcerated males that you were talking about? That's what I'm saying. It goes back to the picking of who you having sex with. Now, if you were not looking at the gentleman that checks all these boxes, then you'd be in a much better position to possibly have a better home life. But you're picking the same top 25% of men that running through everything anyway, that's getting locked up. So what we need to do is pick better, stop letting yourself get impregnated by just anybody, and then present yourself on a better scale. So that way you're in a better position to build a real family. Plain and
But
simple.
again, even to the 30% of men
Yeah,
that you're talking
you
about,
passing off
none of the
accountability at
problems
that point,
that
bro.
we are speaking on, none of these problems that we're speaking on would be an issue if we just wrapped it up. Even to that 30% of men, like that's what I'm not understanding. We, I tell people this all the time in my content because if you've watched me for any length of time, there's a reason I only have one child. It would like we can't just push pregnancy responsibility completely on the woman when she doesn't get the right to say my body, my choice. If we don't give her that right by planting a seed in her soil, so if she's truly for recreational use, wrap that up. That's all I'm
Austin,
getting at. I don't care
here's
if
the
it's
issue.
20% of men,
Hold
10%.
on. The problem with that, right, is that those particular dudes, those degenerates and shit like that, they don't give a damn. They're not listening to us, right? They're not on a podcast. They're not complaining about it. The women are. These women who are having this issue, they're complaining. So they care. So guess what? If this is a problem for you, then you need to be the one that's held responsible for it. These dudes that's doing this flyby shit, they don't give a damn about nobody. They're going to just go away and impregnate another one and another one and another one like they DJ Khaled. They don't give a fuck. So what I'm saying is the ones who care, which are these women who are complaining about it and they don't want to be recreational use and everything else, because it's very different for a man. If I have a couple of kids, the woman is not going to care nearly as much. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. But a man does. That's why we're not saying that forget men's responsibility. I just said a whole bunch of things, right, that they would consider to be egregious. I don't appreciate men who do like that or make us look like that. I dig it. However, this is more of a problem for a female because they're going to bear the burden of it. They're going to be the ones who are going to have it much more difficult to find a mate. They're the ones who's going to have to take care of the child physically and be there the whole time because you getting impregnated by these losers. Guess what? That's your problem. It's not really bothering those guys. So, and they're not listening to us or anyone for that matter. Those are degenerates we're talking about that don't care about starting families. And the only other thing that I wanted you to point out was I know you mentioned that by the time people are 40, after the 25 bracket, what percent of those men are actually with the 2.4 kids are having children with a family? Because I have 2 kids, but mine is with my wife. What does that look like for those dudes that are waiting until they are older? Because more so than not, it's likely that they would be more responsible. And the problem is not them having the kids, but how many women are they having those kids with? And are they
It's
out of
around
wedlock?
30% of it's around 30% of men that are able to have their children with one woman that they actually marry. It's around 30%.
Okay.
All right,
Around
hold
the
on.
age, around the 40 age range.
All right, let me get Shannon in there. Go ahead, Shannon.
Y'all promise not to beat me up. I don't want to. Y'all scrapping tonight. Everybody's stepping on everybody. What up, Dr. Julio? It's good to see you, brother.
What is going on, Shannon? I was talking about you to Nicole, or she was talking about you to me. We've been watching some of your stuff recently. Keep it up as always.
Listen, it's
Go
not
ahead and
much.
agree with me, Shannon. Go ahead.
It's not much I can say. It sounds like you guys. Okay, here's what I got out of everything without rehashing everything that everybody said. Because it's to be honest with you, man, Kenny is right, Viz is right, Marcus is damn right, Law is right, and Julio is right. Trev is right too. Like if for me, I'm just chilling, just set up my little setup, and I'm listening to y'all, and it's like that's right too, but that's right too, but that's right. Here's the part that I have an issue with. Y'all kept saying we a lot. What we need to do and what us need to do and what we need to do and what us need to do. And I think that that's the issue that people are having with you, Dr. Julio, is that you're ascribing the behavior of a small percentage of a degenerate amount to the entire blanket of men. And I get it, because you're saying, when you were speaking, you were saying men that sleeping with and reproducing with. One, those are mutually exclusive. Men do want to, recreational use, they're going to hit. The reproducing part is different. The ones that hit that don't want kids, make sure that they do wrap it up. The ones that hit and don't give a damn, they don't wrap it up. But those two guys look alike. You mentioned the high value thing, and I know you talked about the disparity on marriage, but that was a different argument, and we don't have to talk about that because it was really only 1 out of 4 women that get married. The problem, gentlemen, is that, and Julio, you're my guy. But it's you make the argument that I hear from a lot of women, these niggas out here. And it ain't these niggas, it's those niggas. And it's when you guys are out here saying what we need to do, we are doing it. We need to stop saying we, even though we may be the same complexion, we may rock the same hoodies, we like the same jewelry, we may listen to the same music. We ain't the same. They not like us. And so when you guys talk about these guys who are out here making multiple baby mamas, the same dude got like my man mentioned, we had the guy on here that had 18 kids with 16 women, I think it was, or something like that. So maybe 18 kids with 14 women. Mm-hmm. We have to be able to discern, or separate ourselves from those guys. Now we talk about that with women. We say, damn, how can we tell the good women from the bad women when they all look alike? They all wear the same weaves. They all like them same swirly with them baby hair. They all like the same swirly baby hairs.
Baby hairs.
They all get the same claw nails. They all get the same clothes from Fashion Nova. They all shop at Shein. They wear the same damn dresses. They wear the same shoes. They like the same music. They all and they go to the same clubs. But some of them are good and some are bad, and it's hard. And oftentimes, after you didn't had sex, it's too late to realize that she a luck of the draw, or like throwing craps. Well, it's the same with men, especially when you got those degenerates that are good liars. Them dudes know how to tell some pretty little lies. They know how to tell some beautiful lies. So one, Law, Viz, we got to stop saying we. You got to start saying them, because they not like you, Law. They not like you, Viz, at all. And Julio, you got to stop saying we, because your whole point, I get what you say. I watched your video, but you're ascribing that to all of us. And I think that's the problem that a lot of guys are having.
The reason that I do that, Shannon, and you've known me for years, so you know why I do that. My question boils down to who is overall responsible for the community? Who's overall responsible? What gender is overall responsible? What gender you think carries more weight for the role of leadership in the community?
Well, traditionally it's men.
Traditionally, you know what it is, Shannon. You ain't got a caveat. It is men. You know that.
You know, but I believe in the gynocracy. But go ahead. But I see
you believe in the gynocracy, but the world operates according to what? A patriarchal system.
It's a patriarchal society. So I'm gonna go with you. Say I'm gonna say it's our response. It's on our shoulders.
So when you have and understand, it is degenerate behavior, but degenerate behavior has even found itself snaking its way into the walls and the minds of supposedly high value individuals. So that's why I go ahead and just say we, because we as a collective see this type of behavior, but I feel that we as a collective have not done enough to mitigate and destroy that behavior from the inside out, because it starts with us. If we are overall responsible for the direction of a community, which men are, it's been that way since God put us on the planet. We bear more responsibility. That's why I'm not afraid to say we. I'm not afraid to say we, because there was a point in my life where I was just as much a part of the problem as I am now trying to be a part of the solution. So when you look at the way that we move in this world, it is a we thing. We live in a patriarchy where, because of a system that, let's be honest, predominantly does benefit us, a lot of times we're allowed to excuse ourselves from accountability for our actions, where we can even sit around and have conversations like single mothers being for recreational use to begin with. There are a lot of double standards that we enjoy as men, and all I'm saying is, as a part of the privilege of manhood, there's some pros and some concerns, not necessarily cons, in the purely negative sense, but there's some concerns to that. One of the concerns is we have to be more responsible for the direction of the community and the direction of the familial unit than our women. So it's not that I'm sounding like a woman. I'm just sounding like a man that understands the role that we possess in society.
So, but you're incorrect.
So
you can't
hold on, Kenny. Let me jump in 1 second. Look, let me give me 1 second, bro. Just 1 second. Look, my issue with that is, when we talking, we always talking about we want to speak to the majority, right? If we're going to speak to the majority of men are not in that percentile that's getting pussy. Plain and simple. So we can't say we. You know what I'm saying? The vast majority are being left off to the side. So we can't keep saying we. We need to look at who's accepting that top 35 percentile and what are they going to do differently. Plain and simple. That's what the issue is. If we're going to talk to the majority means we. But that's not what we're doing. We're talking about the small percentile that.
Go ahead, Shan.
Oh man, my man Law froze up. I was going to interrupt him, but he sounded like he was coming the same way I was coming. You know, shit. Am I still here?
Yeah, you good.
Oh, okay. All right,
everybody
Dr.
back.
Julio,
My bad. I don't know what happened. I thought I got mad. I thought I got them got cut off. But like I said, everybody isn't one of these leaders. The majority isn't running. You know what's going on. So we can't keep saying the we's. Like, so that's all I get.
That's a perfect point, and that's my point. And I understand what Dr. Julio was saying before we lost him, because he's basically saying, you know what. I'm saying we because we the men. I get it. I get his point, and I get your point because I'm with you, Law. Who is we? Because I ain't with them niggas. I ain't had that. I didn't have my son until I got married at 42. All the women I didn't knock down, I made sure I wrapped it up for 40 plus years before I decided to have a child. My child was intentional. But Julio, here's the thing. Oh, he's back. The accountability that you want us to have as a collective, I believe is the word you use, as a community, that we can't use the shotgun no more.
See, back in the day, we was able to put, you know, if a man got a woman knocked up, pops pull up with a shotgun. It was like, what you doing? You gonna marry you gonna make my daughter.
Yep. Wasn't no chop shop to run to. You know what I'm saying?
There were certain laws that hadn't been invented yet that allowed us to be able to put a little pressure on the people that wanted to have quote unquote recreational sex. But with all this freedom now that women have benefited from, I guess you said that we benefit too, but they benefit from this freedom as well. What can we do? I can't go beat Pookie's ass like Pookie got his ass beat in the 70s and the 80s. Today,
knowing she's still gonna fuck him.
The accountability that we'd like to have for me is a corporal punishment type accountability. That's the only thing that kind of works. All we can do now is what? Talk shit, shame motherfuckers, and separate ourselves, not hang out with them, not kick it with them. But if it's enough of them, they'll coalesce around each other and party together. They don't even care about what we think. So while I hear you, Dr. Julio, when you say, man, but we the men, and we are supposed to do something about this. And so I'm putting it on even the guys that ain't even responsible for all these kids. I'm putting it on them too, because we the men got it. I can't whoop his ass no more, Julio. When you had your kid years ago, because you were part of the problem, now you're making part of the solution. But years ago, when you did have your child, I couldn't go beat your ass or force you to marry that woman that you had a child with. You'd have looked at me crazy or called the police. So what is the solution? Since you're looking for a solution, we can't just talk about it. And since we can't whoop somebody's ass outside of, outside of prison justice, all we can do is somehow separate ourselves. And that's why we have these discussions. That's why we have these stats to simply say, hey, man, I know I like the same music you like. I like to drive the same cars. I like I even like to hang out at some of the same locations, but I'm not like him. And for the women that like him, we're trying to show you ladies the difference between us and him. We're showing you how we talk and how we move and how we think. We're showing you what we like in terms of your physicality, tattoos on your chest. I just put a post up there. Ladies, stop wearing these chest tattoos and the weaves and the BBLs. We're showing you we don't like the things that we don't like versus the things that he like. So if you want a guy like me, if you want the quote unquote high value guy like me, listen to what I'm telling you. Unfortunately, Dr. Julio, a lot of these women is hearing that, but it's in one ear and out the other because they're still running back to the dude that got 4 baby mamas already.
But I think it's worth noting
that. I think it's worth noting that
60% in jail.
Yeah, I think it's worth noting that prior to this conversation and your video, we admonished men having kids that they did not take care of or multiple extra baby mamas when we were saying that friends we know that's not doing right within their household, we distance ourselves from, and we would be against. So we are in line with you and your point about living in accordance with the Bible or just a moral code of authority. We all agree with. I think we just took exception to the pathologizing to make it seem as though black men were having multiple kids just at random and we did not care.
Well, it's not it's not at random by any stretch. I mean, I'm not saying that it's at random. I'm saying I'm just quoting the data source there. It's not. I don't think that it's random. I think that black men, a large percentage of us know that most women, marriage is not a requirement for children in the black community. This is well known. The baby shower is the closest damn thing to a wedding now, and we are just as guilty of allowing that shit to happen as the women are.
So here's a question for you, real quick, you guys. Julio, I noticed that, and thank you for pointing out the video, thank you for pointing out the stats, and thank you for saying, you know what, here's the thing, it's still just a talking. Even in your video, it's a talking point. And if you claim to be part of the solution, like you say you're going to be, or want to be, or currently are, what is it exactly? What is it? What are the actionable? What are the milestones? What are the actionable things that you believe that should be done amongst men to the men that are the Pookies and the Ray Rays that's out here having the multiple baby mamas?
Okay,
what would you suggest, as opposed to just talking about it? What do you suggest we do about it?
Well, I already gave an answer.
Oh, I didn't hear that part. Get
to
laid
that-
on.
to
laid
that
on.
question.
No, but Austin, the answer you gave is for men such as ourselves who would actually adhere to the rules of the Bible. What Shannon's asking is the men who absolutely ain't gonna listen to that, who don't have a moral framework that dictates they need to take care of the kids, that exist and say, I'm gonna have 18 baby mamas and
What do we
don't
do?
care. How
I
can
hate to say it. It's gonna sound very uncouth, if you will. But for those men that don't want to change, don't want to do better, you got to do the same thing to them Harriet Tubman did to the people that didn't want to walk on the Underground Railroad. Let them stay on the damn plantation. You got to accept some people can't change. Just let them die off and pray to God that women don't. Only thing you can do is let them die and pray women don't give them no coochies so they can produce more degenerates they ain't gonna take care of.
But they
So
are.
when
Right,
you
but
say,
but you're not putting any onus on the women with that.
hold on.
Stop.
So when
This
You
is
want
where
us
you're
to
missing.
pray.
Okay, guys, y'all are missing my point. The onus is already on the woman when she has to carry, if she does carry the kid, because she can terminate it now. But if she keeps the kid, she's already. What the hell more onus do you want to put on her? She already got to do a
Stop
whole
fucking
job
talking,
with half
niggas.
the equipment.
I'm gonna go back to the 60% that
No,
you
no, no.
said
What? No, no, no.
have multiple children out of
What
wedlock.
onus do you want put on her? Answer that directly. What onus are you asking more
Stop
than having
giving
to do a
men
full job
children
with
that are
half the
not
necessary
worthy.
equipment?
No, let me
Stop
answer it.
giving
So
men
But y'all,
children that are not
everybody
worthy.
really saying the same thing.
we
Everybody is
really
really
are.
everybody is kind of giving the same reasoning. So
We really are, just from
what
different
one
perspectives.
also we
hell
can all
no.
agree that men need to properly handle their seed, regardless if you're on our side or you're on the reckless side, right? The only thing, and we've all agreed to this earlier, that if you off point, then we not fucking with you. You know what I'm saying? If you off your square, the majority of the men all agreed that we not fucking with you. However, the issue is that the men that are doing that and being reckless with it the women are allowing for them to shoot up the club and find themselves in that position. But I think that the disconnect is that with this being King's Talk, we should be focusing on the men that are being reckless, because at the end of the day, just like Shannon said, there's nothing that we can do. We can't whoop them no more. You know what I'm saying? Because that ain't gonna do shit but have the broad go in and lick his wounds for him.
Mhm.
So it's one of those situations of where we just have to walk in the very vision in which we believe in.
So
And-
I think all right. So the solution is as far as men that are, but damn, we still can't. I was gonna say if we wanted to take responsibility, we could take it as far as in how we raise our daughters to make sure they don't fuck with those type of men. But those men had daughters that won't have fathers like us to stop them from making that cycle repeat itself.
And the argument that I'm having is what my man Julio says. Well, all we could do is pray it away, because that's what he said. Literally, all we could do is pray that the women.
No, I
don't
said
want
more than that, Shannon.
No, Julio, I listened
You
to you.
referred to the Bible. Go to the Bible.
You
And
said
that's how
you
me and
said
you start bumping heads.
you when I asked you what do we do,
Your
you
refusal to
said,
believe the truth ain't why we bump heads, Kenny. That's all.
when I
That's
asked
all.
you,
That's all
Julio,
that happened.
what can we
yeah,
do?
you denounced the Bible, Kenny. That's
Hold on,
something
real quick.
Yeah,
Okay,
you
When I
denounced
asked
it,
him,
so I don't really know what the you talking
slow
about.
down, Viz.
I
when
mean,
I asked,
that's what you did.
when I asked Julio, what can we do? And Marcus came in and clarified specifically what I was talking about. He's saying, the guys you talking about, we ain't talking about them. We talking about the dudes. Julio, you said all we can do is hope and pray that the
No,
women
Shannon,
don't
I
fuck.
said that, and I also said you can do the same thing that them Harriet Tubman did to the people that didn't want to go with her on the Underground Railroad. Let them
What-
die. And I said let them die in a nice way, Shannon. I said
Okay,
let them
You're
stay
not
on the
saying that.
plantation.
Being
but
biblical,
listen,
man.
that's
You're not supposed to speak that way.
well, hold on. Let them die. What? That's not an actionable item. That's not what does that
It
mean?
is
Let them
actionable.
die.
You
No,
have to
that's
tell. You have to
ignorance.
teach
That's
women.
that's
Listen,
that's
the action
speaking
comes in this way.
ignorantly.
All you have to do is teach women or tell women to the best of their ability. Look, you raise. What you do as men is this. If I got to put it in this plain English, because I thought y'all was following what I was saying. You have to raise your daughter. If you have a daughter, raise your daughter to see what a good man is. But the men that don't want to listen,
Right.
what can you do to them, Shannon? But let them die.
I can't do
What
nothing.
can you do?
Nothing.
My point. So what other answer is there?
So the reality is there is nothing that we can do. So here's our argument. Here's my point. Here's my pushback to you, Julio. Then don't put that jacket on me. Since you know that there's nothing that we can do but let them die and pray that the women don't fuck them, don't put their behavior on me.
It is up. No. It is on you to continue to tell the truth and to speak on it when you see it.
Well, of course
It
we
is
do.
on
We
you.
do that. But in your video,
Okay,
that's not
then.
what
So
you
that
were
means you're
saying.
doing your job.
That's not what you were saying in the video. You
No.
see, in the video,
Shannon,
you
I
ascribed
didn't
it
go
all on
nowhere
all
near
of us.
in depth as I'm going now as I went in that video, did I?
You did it to be polarizing. You made it sound like every black man or the majority of black men move that way. That's why
No,
we're
I said
giving
the
you
majority of black men
pushback.
in prison.
Then you referred to the Bible. I'm not
No, I
denouncing
said
the
the majority of
Bible,
black men in
Viz.
prison.
How
do what
many
they do. That's what
Bibles
I said.
are there, Viz? Do you know?
It's a lot of them.
Kenny,
Okay,
your
so
obsession with
how
trying to
am I
debunk the Bible in
denouncing
no
the
way is going to
Bible?
change the legitimacy of it, brother.
Ask me what
You-
I ascribe to before you
I don't
start
care what you
saying those
ascribe to.
things.
That's the beauty of it. That's the thing.
You denounce the King James Bible, which is widely accepted across the globe.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. That's the
And
that's
why
the
should I
greatest-
care about what
that's-
you
that's the
identify as when I
greatest-
know
that's
how
the
true the
great-
Bible is,
Okay,
Kenny?
can I speak? So-called Dr. Julio. You
Well,
understand?
hey,
that's
I'm
the
the best
greatest.
straight PhD
That's,
you'll ever
that's
see in
the
the
greatest.
algorithm, church.
That's the greatest book made in our century to hustle people out their money.
Is it? Because it's the most
Yes,
widely
Lord.
stolen book
Yes,
as well, and the
Lord.
best selling.
The Potter's House.
If
Creflo Dollar.
It is both. It's somehow
wait.
for it to
Joel
be so
book that's
fully
been
to
a-
you. It is the
it's a
best
book that's
selling
been
and
around
most stolen
for
book in
4,000
history.
Copeland?
years.
Wait. Kenneth Copeland. What you
It's
doing with
literally the
700
best selling
million?
and
What you
most
doing
stolen
with
book
that?
in human history, Kenny. So what the fuck are you talking about? It's
In
been
that
used to-
book,
people
it
have more
teaches
people.
us
There
that
are
there
more
will be
Bibles that have
false
been
prophets.
stolen that have been sold. By the way,
In that same book, it tells us that there will be false prophets. So
see, I love people go
it's
on these
up to
real
you.
ridiculous rants, JR,
Okay,
about something that
so
they clearly are
Vince,
not
in that
nowhere
same
near as
book, they
educated
said
as they should be to speak on the
if you
subject.
worship
It's
any
hilarious
other
to me.
religion, what are you?
So, Kenny, I'll tell you what. I'll offer you this. I tell you this, Kenny.
So
You pick it. I'll tell you what. You want to debate
what
the
is that
Bible?
supposed
I'll
to
offer you
mean?
this challenge. I'll
So
give
that
you. I got
means-
$500.
So
You
wait,
pick your
wait,
panel of
hold
judges.
on,
I'll
Dr.
pick your
Julio.
panel. We can
Hold
debate
on,
the Bible if you
hold on.
like. How about that?
Hold
How
on,
does that sound?
hold on.
So what is that supposed to mean, Kenny?
So that means if I follow the King James Version Bible and I'm a Muslim, my religion ain't right.
Islam addresses and honors
In the
most of the
King
stuff.
James Version, it said if you worship any other God but the one I ascribe to in this book, you are what? Idolater.
Islam doesn't do that as well.
I asked you about the King James Version. Why are you
Kenny.
over there, brother?
Kenny, your
You said what?
refusal to accept. This is the thing with you, Kenny.
So wait,
you want to debate
Dr.
you want to
Julio,
debate the
does
Bible
it
with
say
me,
that
Kenny.
in the King James Bible
Kenny, listen
or
to
not?
me. Kenny, listen to me. I know
Wait,
you
I'll
flush.
answer
I
your
know you.
question.
I know
Wait,
you
I'll
want that.
listen to you.
Kenny,
if
I
you
know you
answer
want
my
that gotcha
question.
moment like a motherfucker. It's
Okay,
bleeding out of
Dr.
your ears. I
Julio,
understand. What I
posed
need
that
you to do is
you
this.
before. I
Kenny,
posed that to you
I
before.
need you to do. I
and you
need
have
you to
yet
do this,
to
Kenny.
answer.
I need you to do this.
Okay,
Hey,
Dr.
this is
Julio,
not the
I
panel.
posed
Kenny,
that question.
this is not
to
the
you
panel for this.
before.
But if you want to
I
go
will
there,
not listen until you answer because I
well,
posed it
you
to
ain't
you
been listening
before.
no way.
But this is what you did. So that means it's
You ain't
in
been
the
listening
King
no way.
James
You
Bible. If
sound
I
so.
worship any other religion, what am I?
Kenny, I don't care what you are.
I'm an
That's what you're not
idolater. I
understanding.
don't care is your answer. There you go. We got him. We got him.
What does that?
Kenny,
What does
you're,
that
you're,
mean?
you're turning. What you're doing. Okay,
Like,
so
what
here's
is
the
the
thing.
point of
What
that?
you're
What
doing
is
is
the point
turning
of
this
you saying
discussion
that?
into something that it is not intended for. So I
No,
offer you this
you
again.
brought up
If you
the
want to
Bible.
debate, Kenny, listen.
All right,
Kenny,
y'all, hold on,
wait,
y'all. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. I did want to play this. This is a short audio of Dr. Bryant when she talked about Cam Newton.
Oh shit.
And Jasmine and what she mentioned about the broken home. Just play this real quick.
spicy in here this evening.
You say to her that'll change.
I think
Oh,
it's
Lord,
helping.
not
I
Cheyenne
think it's
Bryant.
helping her come to herself. And I think that Jazz got herself into something that one she didn't understand that she was getting herself into, and I think she would love to backpedal if she could. But where do you go from here? You have a child. A lot of women, especially Black women, stay because they don't want to be a product of a broken house.
Yeah.
And they don't want to be a single mom. Who wants to be a statistic? Who wants to be that, right? And so for her, I understand why she would want to stay to make it work. But I also would understand why she wants to leave to do it right.
Yeah.
And it's not because he has kids. It's because this man is not honoring you.
Yeah.
He's disrespecting you. And he's not only doing it privately, he's doing it publicly. He's not even allowing it to be pillow talk. You know, so it's like, and that's what I mean by the epitome of a high valued man in the most low functionality you can have. Like, you have no respect at all for this woman who you not only have a child with, but you are in a relationship with. You're waiting for God to give you more kids. You have a woman at home. You're sleeping with other women publicly on your platform for this woman to feel how. All you're doing is self-projecting your brokenness and your pain on this woman and all of these 8 kids and these 3 other women. You are procreating broken houses. And let me go further. He also has a broken home with her, because a broken house and a broken home are 2 different things.
Explain.
So you have both. A broken house is just a single family home. It could be one mama, one daddy, or for people who have partners, it could be one partner in the house. That means just there's one person. A broken home is you got a 2-party household. The home is so impaired it can't even function at a level of healthiness. Cam has both. And he knows that. And he's trying to figure out how he front, back, side pedals.
That's crazy that she just put that on that man.
Bro, I'm so sick of that, bro.
You know what's so funny? I'll actually be doing an interview with Dr. Cheyenne Brand. I'm on in about 2 weeks. What did she say that was wrong?
She's as much doctor as you.
So, because I'm gonna say this. One thing that she said wrong. My bad, Kenny. I'm gonna say this. One thing that she said wrong. You don't know the dynamics of a household. Stop speaking on somebody's shit.
Did you watch that podcast?
For all you listen. I wasn't done. I'm cooking. Listen, for all we know is the women that he said he had sex with that wasn't her. She could have been right there in the same room. She could have been with them,
true, though.
doing the same thing. Mind your fucking business.
For real.
It's simple.
Wait a minute. I would buy that.
This is listen. This is a man, right? That freely speaks on his relationship.
His
Do you think
Mama
she don't
Jasmine
know
is
that?
embarrassed
This is
because
a
of his
man that
actions, sir.
also is in a top tier that obviously allows him to do things that the common man does not. I know a lot of common men that have those privileges.
Okay,
so let's stop trying to speak on somebody's life because you don't understand it. That lady probably happy as hell. She don't act like she having no problem.
Did you watch?
She don't act like she going nowhere.
Did you watch?
You feel me? This is the same woman. Hold on, I'm not done. This is the same woman that sat up there and talked freely, jokingly about how she gonna get a rich nigga for everything he got and yada yada yada. Guess what? It's a trade-off in this game, baby. You know what I'm saying? You think you getting them, but guess what? He getting his too. So yeah, you getting what you asked for, but it's gonna come at a price.
So I got a question.
So stop with all that.
So do you know the baby mama he was referencing, Jasmine? You know she is now she came out and addressed the high level of embarrassment that she has received, or that she says that she has from the DM she's received about what Cam Newton has been doing, for one. For two, Cam Newton, we do know the dynamics of his household because he broke them down in the 1 hour plus interview he did with Dr. Cheyenne Brand. I would suggest you watch it. So we do know his dynamic, and we do know that this nigga has 8 kids and wants more and wants God to bring them.
You know how many of those kids are biologically his and how many he adopted? See what I'm saying, Matt? We need to mind our business.
We do know the number. The point is, he has, first of all, he's a part of the statistic without going to prison that I'm talking about. He has multiple children by multiple different women. He does. And this is the funny part about this is that I went to, so a little bit of a personal story. My brother-in-law played football with Cam the year he won the championship at Auburn. Both of them went to Auburn, both of them played. Cam Newton exhibited the same type of narcissistic behavior even in college. He was fucking around in college. Now here is what is interesting though.
God.
You can say, oh my God, all you want. The fact of the matter is, he is a high value man. Cam, why you can't find a wife? That's my question. You got anything that makes you quote unquote high value?
It's fucking Cam Newton, bro. Like, what woman doesn't even want his genetics, let alone money?
He described his family setup. He said all his kids lived with him, right?
No, he didn't.
So I could have sworn
he did not, because it has been documented his kids don't live with him.
Okay, so
I could have sworn I've seen an interview where he said all
the
his
reason
kids
that
lived.
Dr. Cheyenne Bryan is up on Power 105, talking bad on him, is because he let Corey Holcomb sit on the couch next to her. Next to Cam, and he outed her. She's as much of a doctor as you is, and she eat
well,
pussy.
she actually had the difference between her and I is she actually has a PhD. Mine is a
and
nickname.
And she eat pussy.
Her
She
PhD is from a school that we can't verify.
And,
So you
and she
wait a minute. So Kenny.
And she has a resume of hustling niggas.
What is that? Does that change that Cam Newton has a broken house, Kenny?
So wait.
So we attacking the source of information?
Actually, I'm gonna answer that question. I will answer that question. You cannot throw stones at a glass house.
Well, Kenny, according to you, let you tell it. Then Cam Newton is not living in the glass house, but he openly admitted that he has created a multiplicity of broken homes by the virtue of the fact he has all these kids and is not married.
So if you're sitting down,
so what is you smoking on?
That I'm
I don't know
wrong
how
for the
$100 million man can make a broken home.
Wait. So if I'm sitting down with you and telling you what you doing wrong in life, and I'm not looking in the mirror of what I'm doing or how I got to the place
Does
I
Shy
am,
and Brian have children?
Does that make me a hypocrite?
Does Shy and Brian have children, Kenny?
So Austin, I think the point he was trying to derive or get to was that her credibility and her analysis of him could be skewed based off of several things. One being that she has a intention to embarrass or ridicule him because of how that Corey Holcomb interview went, and two being the definition of the things that she gave as far as a broken home. According to Cam, I could have sworn he said this. I wish somebody had found the tape. All of those kids are in his home because he lamented that. Plus, if Jasmine is in that home with them, then the two people inside of a home, her saying that they can't function is speculation. That could be a fully functioning home with the father figure and a mother figure in the home with 8 extended family.
All his kids don't live with him, for one. He said that in the interview, for one. For two, the interview with Dr. Cheyenne Bryan, for one. For two,
here's my thing. We gotta stop listening to these people with nothing telling me what's a broken home.
If we know for a fact that he's not married, he has multiple children with multiple different women. These women, even if, let's assume this, even if the kids were in the house with him, even though they are not, he says this, they are not, but even if they were,
no.
If the mothers of these children are not also in the house, by definition, it is still a broken damn household.
No, it's not. What if you have a stepmother, right? Is that a broken household? Come on, man, stop, bro.
If you're
that's
examining
what we were talking about. That's what I was talking about when I called you out on that first video.
Gentlemen,
it's not biologically
all of this intellectual. Listen, we can intellectually tap dance around this with the best of them, but the fact of the matter is, if a child is not growing up in the house with two parents, and I'm going to stay on that.
You dancing around what I just said.
I'm addressing what you said. Yeah, I know you want to cut me off, but I'm addressing what you said. And what I'm saying is, by definition, if the child is not in the house with two biological parents or two married parents than a heterosexual couple, let me be specific, then it is a broken house by definition.
So
which is the same logic that was used by Dr. Cheyenne Bryan in the conversation with Cam Newton.
Pass the mic, y'all. Listen, fellas, pass the mic, man. Pass the mic. We're hearing the same voices over and over again. So let me throw something out there real quick.
Where's this definition?
Okay.
I want to hear where's this definition, because the only thing I've heard
law. Did you not hear me? Did you not hear me speaking?
Yeah,
you're just gonna cut me off in the middle of my sentence, in the middle of the word, in the middle of my sentence. You're gonna just jump right in, huh? All right, dig this. Dr. Julio, she said there's two different things between a broken house and a broken home. That's just a bunch of word salad, and you know it. That she was just throwing out there. Oh, a broken house is just a single family home and just one home. And broken home is.
I don't agree with that statement she made. That was bullshit. That was some political BS.
So,
that was bullshit.
Gotcha. So then I'm gonna move on past that because we know that's bullshit. Oh, broken home.
That's bullshit. She just wanted to add fluff in her statement.
She's trying to add the doctor. Now, Kenny, she's mentioned that her doctorate degree was attained after the interview that she had. I mean, the TV show that she did with Corey Holcomb 10 years ago. And that she has 4 degrees, and that she has 3 masters, and her doctorate degree came after. And so Kenny was speaking on the fact that she wasn't a doctor when they worked together a long time ago, and that she act like she, and it was all in that 105 point such video. Now, I'm not saying I don't know the veracity of her doctorate degree. I can't imagine her going out there lying about it and getting, put on shows. But she may be a doctor today. Now, that's just one. We got to be fair on both sides. Now, the last two things I want to talk about is Julio. Would you agree that Ebony K. Williams created a broken home?
Yeah.
Okay.
By choice. Hell yeah.
Okay. Then we and you on the same sheet of music, brother. Because even women that go out with IVF and all the women that's freezing their eggs and going
That's
out
still
there,
a broken house.
it's broken. Then you don't have no.
Damn right.
I don't have no beef with you then. You know, because
No, listen. I am
no.
never going to be for the perpetuate. Again, Shannon, remember I told you, I said I was part of the problem. I am never going to be pro the selective, deliberate perpetuation of a broken house. I had a broken house because
I got you.
You know what I'm saying?
You do not have to sell it to me.
No, my point is, by definition, again,
Julio,
if a
I got
woman
you.
does
As
it by
long
choice,
as you said yes, we on the same sheet of music. But here's what I'm.
Yeah, you know it.
Here's where we depart. It was Law said, or it was Mark. I'm not. It was either Law or Marcus that said we don't know the dynamics of what he did. Now you said he cheated. Now understand something. When he did that interview with Corey Holcomb, he said, and I quote, as long as I've been with Jazz is not the only person I've had sex with. End quote. End quote. Yes. Now, what they're telling you is he never expounded on how that happened. He didn't say he cheated. He didn't say he had some hoes on the side. He didn't say he was sliding bitches DMs. What they said was, we don't know the dynamics of that. As far as we know, Jazzy could have been the motherfucker that went out and got the girls for him. Jazzy could have been in the bed with them. It could have been a threesome thing. We don't know the dynamics of that because him and Corey, when they were going back and forth, and when he put that blurb out there that made everybody clutch their pearls, we automatically went to the worst part of it. We was like, oh, this nigga cheating. He's fucking hoes and shit. For all we know, we don't know the dynamics. But the way that Ebony is speaking on this interview at the Breakfast Club is if she knows the details of what he's done, as if he's a cheater, a serial cheater, and she would leave. You know, I understand, but she's got the baby already and she has to stay. But I bet that she would leave if she could. And it's really like, well, wait a minute, how do you know? Because as far as you know, Jazzy is a super freak and she wanted some extra bitches. And that's why he said, as long as I've been with Jazz is not the only person I've had sex with, period. That's all he said. So the argument is simply, if you don't know the details, and if Jazz herself has not complained, commented, interviewed, or said a mumbling word about it, then why would Dr. Bryant go on another show and say she knows that she would like to leave if she could? Why would you say that he's out here doing what he, being basically being nefarious with his dick, when as far as we know, shit, they just doing some freaky shit?
Because Shannon, there's a reason. Everybody can't tell the same lie, Shannon. Everybody will not spin the same narrative. There is, again, to Ebony K. Williams and Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, to both of their points, you have to look at it from the perspective of they've had conversations. First of all, I know Dr. Cheyenne Bryant has had conversations with Jasmine. Jasmine has expressed to Cheyenne Bryant that she would like to leave. That's where this shit is coming from. This is not some shit I'm pulling out of my ass. Pause.
It sounds like it.
I don't give a fuck what it sounds like. I'm telling you what it is.
Ain't
I don't
nobody
give a
else
shit what you
it,
think.
But you got this inside information that don't nobody else have. Come on,
that
man.
Don't bother me none.
You gotta stop.
I got sources you don't have.
You gotta stop with this old rhetoric, man. You sound.
It's not rhetoric.
If
listen,
you ain't
I
talking
got
to these
listen.
ladies,
Hey, brother,
man.
I got Dr. Cheyenne Bryant's phone number. I got Judge Joe Brown's phone number. They good friends. I got sources you ain't got. Don't worry about it, church. It's all good. I don't give a fuck what you believe. What you believe, just because you don't believe something, don't change the authenticity or the truth of it.
Aren't you a man of the cloth?
Like
Why
I said
are you
earlier, mind people business and stay out they shit. That's women shit.
Go get you some money. Worry about. But at the end of the day, as going back to my point, as a man, you're supposed to be a leader. What leader? How the hell are you leading something when you got 8 kids in multiple different households and you ain't really that much of a teacher? All your women ain't living in the same house.
When you a king, you have an opportunity to do things that other men can't.
When you a king, don't act like a jester. Then too busy. When you a king, don't act like a jester. What the hell we talking about sowing your royal oats? You know what happened to Solomon when he had 300 wives and 700 concubines?
If you can't handle it, just say that. You know what I'm saying? Why you got your camera on?
My daddy raised me to be a man, not a child.
King Solomon, that's a broken family. He had all them wives
Solomon
and
had several
concubines.
broken families.
That's
That's
from
why
the
Solomon
King
fell out of
James
grace with the
Bible.
Lord. That's right. Damn right,
The
Kenny.
Lord
You
blessed
you
him
finally
with
said
those
something right.
wives,
Come on
bro.
now.
Like,
Come on. Kenny, about time you said something right. Yeah, you like using the Bible when you think you can get a win in with it. You'll pull that book out of thin air when you think you got a gotcha moment. Boy.
My man, if you hold that Bible up and a man got a 380 in your face,
I
is
got
that
I got
Bible
I
gonna
got a
save
I
you?
got a Glock 9mm to answer his little
No, I'm
380
giving
church.
you no. Pay
I
attention.
got,
You can't be a gangster in the pulpit. You got to choose a line.
why you
I'm just
can't?
giving
Didn't
you. I'm
Jesus
just
tell?
giving
See,
you
that's how I know
something
you
to
didn't
think
read the
about.
book. Jesus told his
Okay, you
disciples, "Sell your cloak
small
and buy a
hey,
fry.
sword in the gospel of Luke."
now I have
That's
a
how I know you
question
don't know what
for
you're
it.
talking
Hey,
about.
So let me get. So yeah, I don't know the gospel, but watch
Yeah,
this.
so then shut up talking about
Okay,
it.
I don't know the gospel. Yeah, I don't know the gospel
Don't
according
speak
to
on something
you.
you don't know about. You ain't
Okay,
read the book, so stop
wait.
talking about it.
Slow
You ain't
down,
read it. You
Slick.
ain't picked that thing
Hey,
up and read
Dr.
it, church. Stop talking
Julio.
about something you ain't
Okay,
read,
Dr.
brother. It's
Julio.
unbecoming. Stop it.
Wait. I thought you was a humble man of the good book.
I
You showing
am.
me a
I'm
different
telling you not
side.
to put
So
out,
what?
and I'm humbly
Wait.
telling you
If
to
you're a
leave
representation of
something
the
alone. You
Bible,
ain't read or studied.
what
It's
makes me
unbecoming.
believe
You
you? Because
exposing
you can't keep it
you're
together.
exposing your
Okay,
Kenny.
sir.
The more
If
you
you are a
talk, you're
man of the
exposing your
Bible
intellectual
and you can't keep
inability.
it
Yeah,
together.
one mic. We can't hear
Okay,
y'all.
so I have a question. If you're a man of the Bible, I've seen you swear, cuss, yell, rant.
So did the
I
apostle
thought
Peter and
that book
Paul.
tempered you.
So did Peter and
I
Paul.
thought it
Peter
made
cursed.
you
He cut off somebody's
calm.
ear.
Huh?
Peter
Wait.
cussed and cut off
So
somebody's
let me
ear.
ask you a question,
I mean,
Dr.
I know
Julio.
the book. You don't want to go there with me,
Wait.
brother.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Come on.
You a
Yeah,
theology
I love it.
master.
I'm glad you invited
Okay,
me. This
slow
shit is
down,
hilarious. I love it. I gotta come back to this shit.
slow down. You know what's my problem?
Talk
I
to me.
don't hustle. I don't know the
Other
book
than the
like
truth.
you, but you intend to know the book like Joel Osteen, Kenneth Copeland,
No, they don't know the
and
book.
T.D. Jakes.
They don't know the book.
Creflo
He
Dollar,
damn sure don't know
Floyd
the book.
Flake.
Why
Kenny,
you
it
What's the
sounds
one
like to
from
me you've been
Brooklyn?
swallowed
What's the one
up.
from
You're
Brooklyn with the
getting
DR?
swallowed up. That's
Let
what it
me
sounds like to me,
hustle my
Kenny.
people
why you keep bringing up them? Why do you keep bringing them up?
because out of I brought up 5 predominant preachers that lead millions of people. If you group them all in together, they've
What they got to do
amassed.
with me though?
Okay, so they've amassed great wealth off of that book by having
Right.
people conditioned by it.
Mm-hmm.
These are the same people that says if you don't live a good life as for how we ascribe it to be, you're gonna burn in hell.
That's not what I say. That's not even what the
that's
Bible
not
says.
that's
Wait. Did
not
I
what
say you or did I generalize it? You are a false preacher. You're not even okay. What's your doctorate in?
The algorithm. I'm the best fake PhD you'll ever meet, hear, or see. I say that on all my content.
I rest my case.
Yeah,
but
Dr.
Kenny,
Dre, Dr. J say the same thing.
but Kenny,
Dr. Dre is
your
Dr.
point.
Dre. He ain't got no
Hold
damn
on,
PhD.
hold on, y'all.
Hold
I
on.
think Will Sherm had a question. Go ahead. You on mute, just so you know.
You can't hear you,
Come on, Lord. You on mute, Lord.
it don't say you muted, but damn, Sherman might be.
yeah,
It might
my
be
bad.
tweaking.
I had
Joe.
to press the
There you
mic.
go.
All right, Austin. So if you were like in the room with Cam Newton, right?
Mhm.
And you know that he had like 5 baby mamas, and you know that Jasmine was an Instagram comedian, which she was. And he told you, man, I had a baby by Jasmine and I'm faithful to her and I don't cheat on her. Would you really believe him if he told?
Did he freeze up or can y'all
Is
hear
he
him?
there?
Yeah, say it again,
Yeah.
Lord.
Damn, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now,
you
brother.
good, bro.
Okay, cool. All right, so basically, if you was chilling with Cam Newton, knowing that he had 5 kids by several different women, and he got with Jasmine, who was an Instagram comedian. I'm not sure how much money she had at the time or whatever, but from the looks of it, she didn't really have much movement, right? If he sat there and told you, hey, I'm with Jasmine now, I got her pregnant, and I'm faithful, and I don't cheat on her at all, would you believe him?
If she was the last baby mama, yeah. But she wasn't his last baby mama. She was the first.
Who?
What?
Jasmine was baby mama number 1. Was number 1 or 2?
No, she's the most recent and current
No.
girl.
I'm okay. No, I'm sorry. That's the most recent. You're right. I'm tripping. No. I'm tripping. I'm looking at something else. No, would I believe him? Depends. It
He'd be
depends.
right down there with Cam Newton getting lap dances, you fake ass preacher. You
Well,
be
the
right
thing is,
up in
I'm
there
not
getting your
married,
bow
Kenny, so
tie
I can do what I
in.
want to do, and I don't have any more
Yeah,
children. I only got one
fake
child.
ass
But I'm saying,
preacher.
Austin, like you know this dude, like star NFL player worth $100 million. You know what I'm saying? You really would think that this man would be faithful to Jasmine if he told you to your face.
It depends on what I'm looking at. It depends. It's
All right,
possible.
so I'll tell it like this, right? I guarantee you 99.9% of women will say there's no fucking way. I know guys like this. I know he's not only fucking with her.
Okay, so
And
you know who Bernie
she
Mac
got
is?
with him. So she got with him purely for the benefit of being with a man with money because she probably didn't have that much motion. She was an Instagram comedian. So she's getting what she came to get, bro. And that's it.
Okay, so then why would you then again just go look at her Instagram? Why would you, as a woman, if you only went after him for his money, let's assume I accept your premises as true, even though I don't, but let's assume I accept that it's true. Why would you then go on Instagram and complain and try to defend yourself when these allegations start coming to your DMs? Why?
Because bro, she got publicly humiliated.
Hey,
So
Sherm,
she has to
is
do
she
But
the
if you're
first to
only
ever
after the
do
money,
it?
who cares?
Hey, Sherm, is
That's
she
my
the
point.
first
That's
to
my
ever
question.
do it
No.
with a
My
high
question is
profile
ridiculous
man?
because
I know
what I'm
she
getting
did
at
not
is
go in
in
with
this
the
conversation,
intention that this
if
man
you
is
are
gonna marry
guilty
me and make
of,
me his
right?
wife.
Wait,
I
Law,
know that
is she
wasn't
the
the
first to
intention,
ever
bro.
do it with a high profile man? Is she the first female to ever come out and say stuff about a high profile man when things ain't going right for her?
Kenny, you love yelling and not saying
Wait,
shit at the
gentlemen,
same
answer the
time. It is
question.
amazing
Is
how
she
you
the
do this.
first female to deal with a high profile man when
I didn't
stuff
say
ain't
she
working
was
right for
Kenny.
her? She go
Nobody
on the
said she
internet.
was the
Is
first.
she the first?
Nobody said she was the first, Kenny. Nobody said that.
You did. You did. You said she was the
No,
first.
no, 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 no. He's asking he's asking a different question. He's saying, is she the first woman that has dealt with a high value man and came out making allegations against him? No one said she was the first one to do it. All I'm asking is to Sherm's point is, if she's only after him for the money, why does she feel the need to defend herself after being quote unquote publicly humiliated?
Because
And
That's
where
my
is the
question.
that's
defense?
going to hurt her hustle if she's found out to be
Julio,
incredible.
is Julio is because she was publicly humiliated. You got to understand something. Go watch the bit. Remember, she's a stand-up comedian. And when she was about 8 months pregnant, she did a bit while she was wearing Cam Newton's jersey, all turquoise.
Oh, I
jersey.
think I do remember that one.
Of course
I
you
think I do
remember.
remember. I got to go back and watch it.
I
Yeah.
remember that one too.
Yeah, she herself said that, you know what, y'all women is mad at me, but shit, get that money in your pocket or something. And then she admitted that that's why she was essentially there. But then,
I see. Okay,
but
I gotta go back
you know
and
what?
watch it.
Listen,
Yeah, she said when $100 million nigga wants you, what you gonna do? Because it is a fact that $100 million niggas ain't just hitting on everybody, and a lot of women don't have that chance or that opportunity.
So she
that's
said it
a
herself.
fact.
She said it herself.
Shan,
Now I
just
get it.
call that
Maybe
lotto
she fell
ticket.
in love. Maybe she
Lotto
fell in
ticket.
love.
No, she didn't, bro. She wanted that money.
No.
She
But
fall
over
in love
time,
after the
no.
money.
Listen.
How
I
you know? Because see
understand why
now when
women
it's
do what they
me,
do
y'all ask
in
me
the
how do I know?
beginning.
So how the fuck y'all know
No,
she
we
didn't
can
change
see
her
the
mind?
point.
Come on, bro.
We don't
It
know.
ain't hard to tell.
We don't know.
That's my
But
exactly. Thank you. You don't know. So you can't. If you gonna do that shit to me, do it to yourself. You don't know that she didn't change her damn mind because that's a crock of shit.
I'm simply saying.
I'm talking about what we heard her say. You talking
Okay,
about
and
your
who's to say
backdoor
things don't
dealings that
change?
you
That's my
heard.
point.
Her intentions, bro.
It's like y'all, this catch-22 double standard bullshit y'all pull when I say some shit, and then you turn
No.
around and say,
It's
"I
not
don't
a
know, Austin. How
catch-22.
you
It's
know?"
not
So I
the
ask
same
y'all the
thing.
same
It's not
shit.
apples
You
and
don't
oranges.
fucking know. You
We
don't know.
talking about what we heard her say
Oh my
versus
lord.
what you
Okay, and
said somebody
who's to
told
say
you.
that after she made that
Because I
statement,
got a
she didn't
phone
actually fall
number
in love
and
with
I
the
could
man?
talk to Dr. Brain tomorrow type shit.
Bro,
Come
she
on,
was
man.
like
Stop.
8 months pregnant when she said that.
Again, I
Belly
understand,
all out on
gentlemen. I'm not
stage.
knocking that, gentlemen. I'm not knocking that. I'm simply asking the same bullshit y'all asked me. How do you know things didn't change?
She
We didn't
said it.
ask you how
You're
did
talking
things
about
change. We
something
asked
that's
you
not
how do you know
verifiable.
that that's
Now it's
valid?
not verifiable. Oh my
The
God,
answer is we
y'all
don't.
sound
All right.
crazy.
No. The answer is we don't. Now to the next point.
Hey, I'll say this real quick just to wrap it up. At the end of the
We know
day,
you on
I
his
think.
side.
Oh, okay, Kendra. So at the end of the day,
Y'all niggas kill me. These boys so damn funny.
hey, at the end of the day, we can all agree that Cam ran up in something that he shouldn't have. Bro,
Church.
fellas, let's wrap it up.
I'm not agreeing with that. I'm not agreeing with that because she chose to have a child with him. She
wants more.
And wants more. She seemed to be happy and submissive from what she showed us.
Cooking him and rubbing him till he goes to bed or sleep and shit. And
he's been clear that he doesn't want to be married, but he's chosen how he's going to put his family together while being an active father in all his kids' lives. I could have sworn in that interview that he said they was all living with him, or most of them are living with him. Maybe one is not, the baby Shay, from what I was trying to find out. Now, I don't think she's a bad woman.
Yeah,
really
she's
don't.
not no hood rat. It
bad
ain't
woman.
like she's like some fucking pass around. That she don't even have a dating history as far as we know. So I don't think that Cam necessarily made a mistake with this one. It's like, oh damn, I done got caught up. I should have wore a Jimmy hat. I don't know about that one. I think he probably you know, it was I'm with Marcus on this one, big bro. I think he made it. That was an intentional move with her.
And do y'all really sit up here and think that a man of that caliber, when she knows you got multiple baby mothers, she knows who you are, she knows you're $100 million man. Right now, nowadays, part of the qualifications is either playing with other girls, knowing it's gonna be other girls, or something. I mean, I don't know how. I don't know what y'all dating history like, but trust me, if you're a man of means, you get what you want. So all that, oh, he humiliated her and all that. Come on, man. Like I said, she was probably right there with him. Take it how you
have
want.
100 million.
Again, I ask you, how do you know?
Motherfucker.
How do you know she was right there? You don't know, do you?
I said, and you don't know she wasn't. That's my thing. And
So
a
then
man of means
neither one of us know, how the hell you gonna make a claim?
Hey, listen,
that
a man of
sounds like
means gets what he wants. Plain and
Hey,
simple.
but
I ain't
sir,
got $100 million, but I'm gonna get what I want if I want it.
Hey, but Sherm just said something that I think that we've been talking about this whole time. He said if he had 100 million, he'll probably have 40 of them walking around. You know what I'm saying? That's Sherm just said that. That's
hell no. If I had 100
get
million,
it.
I ain't having but about 3 kids.
I get it. But
I got 3
you know what I'm
kids
saying?
now.
But realistically,
100 million.
again, that is being reckless at the end of the day, though. And we just got to keep it a buck at that, because even though there are a lot of men that'll never see that amount of money, it's niggas that got $100 in their pockets and they doing the same shit. You know what I'm saying? Because they got that same mentality. So I think that it's important for us to filter that. You know what I'm saying? That type of conversation.
Well, I'm never going to advocate for somebody to create a broken home intentionally or any of that. But I do think it's something to say for the way that moving forward people can create. So, all right, give you an example. If he was a single man and he adopted 8 kids, would that not be a net benefit?
No, bro, that's a broken home.
You saying if he adopted 8 kids?
Yeah, if him and Jazz was together and they adopted 8 kids, would that not be a beneficial, stable home?
No, if are they married?
Nope.
For the sake of argument,
I mean, I think if marriage is playing a part, then absolutely it's a stable home. But if marriage not playing a part of it, then no, it's just a house. You know what I'm saying? Because at any given moment, that could easily fall apart, and we know that.
Well, Marcus, I think you're trying to draw a parallel. Marcus, I think you're trying to draw a parallel between adopting 8 kids with your woman versus having 8 kids by 4 other women, and then and that's not that. I think that's a false equivalency. But what's crazy about it is I still believe what I think you're trying to say. Like,
I get what you're trying to say.
You can define your own, and I think the more money you got, it's easier to define it. That's just how I feel personally. You know what I'm saying? I think we had this argument about a year ago. We was talking about Elon Musk, or we was talking about billionaires that was able to just be able to, you got Pookie that ain't got 2 nickels to rub together, out here fucking making a whole bunch of homes and making shit hard on the kids, the woman, the fucking system, the welfare system, WIC, making it hard on all the taxpayers. Nigga, you fucking everybody up by you doing it. Versus the billionaire who's like, man, I'm gonna just put $1 million in the bank and you could play with that all year long. But I want a legacy, and I want, because you know what it was? We were talking about that billionaire that died in the submarine crash. That's what happened. We were discussing the billionaire that took his 19-year-old son down in the submarine thing, and it imploded and all of that. And we were talking, yeah, exactly. That's what we were discussing. And we somehow got on billionaires with children and how he didn't have a legacy. Now, if that billionaire would have had more women and had more kids, then his legacy could have continued through other sons and all that other kind of stuff. And he had enough money to make sure everybody was good. I mean, we just looked at Quincy Jones gave his kids what, $80 million.
I was just about to say that. 7 kids, 80 mil a piece.
And ain't nobody talking about him leaving broken homes and all that other shit.
Exactly. You know so I think I'm with Marcus. I know I'm with Sherm that, you know, money matters when it comes, especially when it comes to legacy and kids. And when I hear broken home, I hear everybody's in squander. It's like, damn, man, you know, the public school, the kids can't read. There's a bunch of junk food in the refrigerator. Section 8. I hear fucking ghetto when I hear broken home. Yeah. I don't hear broken home when I hear a multi-billionaire millionaire who puts $1.2 million in a bank account per child, like Nick Cannon did, and then the mother can feed off of that, and all the needs are met. I don't equate the same, so I may be a little different than most.
But now, from a psychological point for that child, though, how does that impact it? Is that a variable that we're keeping in mind?
I mean, I would like to say this, bro. There's kids, even me personally, with like, I'm not gonna say where it's at, but I know a mother that raised 5 kids on her own. The father was in prison for murder. All of those kids got college degrees. All of them played football at D1 colleges. You don't have any idea where a child could grow up, and, you know, I mean, who a child could grow up to be. We don't know. We can't say just because the father isn't in the house, it's going to be all fucked up for the children. Because I know children that are fucked up, and I'm sure we all do, who have parents in the house, both parents.
Yeah, but Sherm, you're going by probability, and you're going by possibility, not probability.
JR, I sent that clip to your IG.
The stats are, Sherm, that I get it. There's always an exception to the rule, and you happen to know a few of them where, you know, the woman did it and the kids turn out to be stellar, contributors to society. But the probability is lower when pops ain't around and the house is fucked up and them kids turn out to be degenerates. That's typically the way it goes. Yeah. I'm with that. I'm simply saying my argument is when you have resources. You know what I'm saying? When there's resources available to make life easier and put people in, you know, you're a product of your environment. I don't care how you slice it. That cliche stands firm. You're a product of your environment. And if you are able to put your children and raise them in an environment, even if you may not be around, because there's a lot of married men who are businessmen that I know that shit, they might as well be absent fathers any goddamn way. He's married, but he's always on the road. He's gone all the time. But they FaceTime it and, hey, baby, I'll see you. When I was in the military deployment, we was gone all the time. But nobody calls that a broken home because it's simply because there's harmony between the father and the mother, even though Pops is either deployed or Pops is on business in fucking Germany or in Mexico or across the country, is always traveling. There's harmony between that. Suddenly that's okay. But if a guy with a bunch of money goes out and has some children and he's taking care of the kids and there's harmony there, that's a problem. So, you know, I'm just simply saying, I don't like to equate nigga shit. I don't know what other adjective to use.
I mean, but let's also talk about a man. Let's talk about a man that you just mentioned, Elon Musk. He has 12 boys. Well, 12 kids. I'm not sure. I know he got majority boys. I guarantee you that no one in the white community is saying that he's creating broken homes. I guarantee that's not even a topic. I mean, at all. But when it comes to us, it's like, oh no, bro, they're not regular people.
Well, no, bro. White people are in a completely different position than black people as a whole are.
I'm talking about people with money, bro. Yeah, I think he have money and access to resources, bro.
Yeah, he's using class more than race.
I'm not using race. I'm saying like they have money to do. They have access to resources.
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah. Hold tight so I can play this clip of Dr. Brian and Cam.
So
that's what I'm trying to. That's what you don't understand.
so all of your baby mamas live in one house?
No, they do
Okay.
not. But my children stay with me.
So then it's still a broken
That's what I'm
household. The
trying to tell
mothers
you.
aren't in your home. So it doesn't make a
But that's
difference.
making the best of the situation.
Right. And listen, and let me say this. That part I agree with.
Mhm.
That part I admire in you.
Okay.
That part I think is amazing.
Right.
Cam, look at me. That part I say thank you
Mhm.
for being a man who's vertical, who stood up and dealt with his decisions, whether it was decisions you liked or you didn't, or you planned or you didn't. So
That's what I'm trying to. That's what you don't understand.
so all of your baby mamas live in one house?
No, they do
Okay.
not. But my children stay with me.
So then it's still a broken
That's what I'm
household. The
trying to tell
mothers
you.
aren't in your home. So it doesn't make a
But that's
difference.
making the best of the situation.
Right. And listen, and let me say this. That part I agree with.
Mhm.
That part
So that's what Marcus was talking about. Okay.
As we
So
state.
now, how does she go on Power 105 and try to tear him apart after she just tried to give him his accolades?
She trying so hard, bro. So
Yeah.
hard.
Don't that sound a little trippy now?
Yeah, and
She's
that's
probably
that
just
bullshit.
chasing
That's
clout,
what we talking about.
realistically.
I just don't like when people with no kids or no situation like that try to define how it's supposed to be for other people. You know, that's one thing I always can't rock with at all.
Yeah, because I mean he has a unique situation. You can't choose him a dog. If he's saying all his kids live with him and there is a mother in the home that can give the kids whatever else they need. And I would say certainly I would seriously doubt that Cam would deny the children any access to the mothers, right? Their birth mothers either. So and he has a lot of resources. So she'll even have help. Of course they have nannies. Of course they have people to take care of the domestic needs. They probably got chefs. Anything that you can imagine, he has access to. So tutoring, just anything
Nannies,
that parents
tutors,
would
all that
do,
shit.
anything that you would do for your children as a parent, they have a support team to do it. So in all honesty, his children are afforded a better opportunity than most people, your average married couple. The likelihood of them being successful is greater than your average couple. Like if now I would absolutely feel differently about the situation if they were all living in separate households, but him stating that they live with him completely changes the dynamic. They have a mother figure and a father figure available. Not it is what it is. And they all knew what he was on. Like it was stated earlier. He was off that since college. So that's what type of time he on. And when females get with a dude like that, they gotta understand that that's how that game is played. It's choices and trade-offs. You want to deal with this caliber of a man, which almost no less than 1% of women will ever have the opportunity to, then you're gonna have to trade off and just understand you're likely gonna share this dude.
Dr. Julio, come back. Now you got to recant your statement. Don't run away now.
You can say super chat real quick. I got you, Viz. 499. They no different. In fact, the women who divorce their husbands are more disappointing. DJ 199 says y'all haven't heard of the 4B movement. It's coming.
What is the
Yeah, that
4B
4B,
movement? Can somebody
it's
inform
not
me?
stopping anybody. It's basically women not giving men none. So she
Wait
doesn't
on it.
want to give men any for some reason. But you
I
know,
saw that movie. It was trash.
yeah, just do your thing, DJ.
Queen Lady $2 says word of the year for Hink. These heifers. Ruzo 999 says delete yourself because the condom pop. So you know the risk. The poem was more valuable than your life. A degree doesn't mean laugh my ass off. A degree don't give you a pass. Laugh my ass off. So one check this king.
He spent $10 to come at you, cuz.
Now says $2 Kamala dollars donated to replay the video. Lady that $5 says, so was it not Jesus who said, "Don't deny me, or I will deny you in front of my Father God"? Bruiser again, 499 says, Doctor, yield to Law's point. He is right on this one, brother. They for wreck if they fornicate out of wedlock, safe sex or not. DJ 499, male logic says men control marriage, so stop impregnating women that aren't your wife. Simple. Queen Lady, $2 says, don't confuse some for many, not the same. And lastly, KLA 2026 499, does Cam's behavior strengthen or weaken the community?
I'm gonna say
what
in
community?
his specific case, I say it strengthens it. I say it strengthens it. Because all right, so the average person is supposed to have what, 2 kids? So he increased the general number of the community by an extra 6. Plus, it's a good chance that they are gonna be raised right, so they'll be productive members of society. Come on, hey,
check the back chat, Shan.
That's funny.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and get up out of here, man. We appreciate you guys tuning in to King Talk tonight. Catch us next Tuesday. Going live again tomorrow. I'm Dave Shenanigans. I'll let y'all. Thank you. Hit the like button. Also, make sure to subscribe to the channel. We out.